Did you ever think you would make it? I feel I'm so close, I could taste sweet victory. I know this life meant for me.
Adam, what's your point? The future looks bright.
My handshake is better than anything I ever saw. It's right here.
You are a one-of-one?
My son's right about
I don't think I've ever said this before.
All right, folks. Hope you had a happy Valentine's Day weekend, increasing the 1.58 that we have. We need to increase that number. Hope we started working this weekend. There was a meeting in Munich. Senna wants to say hello. Senna, say hello real quick and then go.
Hello.
Senna says, hello. What'd you make yesterday? What did Uncle Vinny give you? Did you make ice cream? Yeah. Come a little closer because I can't hear you. Did you share it with Daddy?
No.
Why didn't you share it with Daddy?
So it's only a little bit.
Wow, okay. Give me a kiss.
How old is Senna now? 9?
Senna's 9 years old.
9 years old,
Alicia,
Senna.
go to Alicia, baby. Okay. Apparently, the Munich meeting that took place was incredible. Meaning, Marco Rubio hit the stage and absolutely crushed on stage. I'm at a soccer game yesterday. This Venezuelan father comes up to me. We always talk about Venezuela. He's telling me, you won't even believe the last time you and I talked. I couldn't believe it. He's trying to get me to go to Venezuela to do business in Venezuela. And he says, I'm telling you, I'm very independent politically. I like people on both sides. Marco Rubio's speech is one of the greatest speeches I've ever seen anybody give in the history of mankind. I say, you're serious? He says, Patrick, it's one of the greatest speeches. We're going to watch some of the clips of what he gave. There are some people who are deeply concerned about the health and a life of this Czech Deputy Prime Minister, Petra Matsinka. They're hoping he's doing okay because he called out Hillary Clinton. As of right now, X was down for about 10 minutes, so we don't know. But as of right now, for people that are also concerned, he's doing okay. As of right now, he called out Hillary Clinton in such a way that she kept interrupting that others had to say, let the man finish. And he says, look, I'm not as smart as you guys. He says, but listen, you guys are making a lot of mistakes. So we'll talk about that. AOC was asked, actually Whitmer was asked the question first. She didn't know how to answer it. And then she passed it down to AOC. AOC, you have to see how she answered it. Some of them are calling it 2.0 Kamala Harris type of thing. But there's a difference between local, state, national, international. But this was her first chance internationally, and you'll be able to react for yourself. Newsom was there as well. Of course, you know how Newsom reacted. He has to get up there and try to scare the crap out of everybody of how scary Trump is. And honestly, nobody's buying. Nobody's buying to the point where Barack Obama got onto a podcast with this big left-wing influencer. And on the podcast, he said a couple things. One, Obama believes aliens are real, even though he said he never met them face-to-face. And number two, he did say that the homelessness in California is getting pretty bad. He talked about that. At the same time, Reza Pahlavi was at this Munich conference. And at this Munich event, Lindsey Graham was asked, does he have your support? There's a man in the room here right now that is trying to help with the transition. Does he have your support? And Lindsey said no. And then afterwards, he went to a rally for Reza Pahlavi, and low number, 50,000. High number, 250,000 people showed up. Iranians who are sick and tired of what's going on with IRGC in Iran. This one reporter asked Reza Pahlavi a question, and I actually like the way he handled it because he's a supporter of the current regime. So we'll talk about how that was taken care of. We'll talk about that next. On the weekend where NBA All-Star happened, I'm 47 years old. I've been in America since 12 years old. I'm watching NBA All-Star every single year since 12 years old. It's the first All-Star game I've not watched. I have no clue what happened. They were giving me an update here that Ant won the MVP, and apparently he was surprised when he won the MVP. I've not watched the product, but you know what happened? The previous guy, they used to get tens of millions of views in the NBA. This guy named Michael Jordan, his team won the Daytona 500. Wow. And it was an incredible celebration, and it was so excited. It's like the old Michael came out. When you watch him in the post-game interview, it's as if he's 28 years old, 32 years old again, winning. I'm excited when I saw that happening. And then Epstein, Bondi. Some are saying they got to replace Bondi with Trey Gowdy. A lot of people are supportive of it. They're saying, hey, drop Bondi and go with Gowdy. Obviously, you know, the president, the way he's been firing is moving people to different positions, not a direct fire. But Gowdy's somebody that's been respected for many, many years. He was a guy that I told him, we had him at one of our events during COVID, And Jose Gaitan did an incredible job. One of the greatest questions ever asked in an interview was Jose with Trey Gowdy. And I said, Trey, when are you running for president? He was quiet about it at a different event that we had. But I'm a big fan of his. And apparently they want him to come in. Bondi released 300 names this weekend out of nowhere. I don't know if we're going to get the rest of the release. But did you hear about that one thing, what Epstein did the day after he got indicted in 2018, 2019?
What?
Do you know what he bought?
No.
Do you know what he bought the day after he got indicted?
What?
Apparently 300 plus gallons of sulfuric acid.
Oh, yeah, that's just a regular.
Day after he got indicted.
Yeah.
Why would you buy 300 plus gallons of sulfuric acid? To do what?
Walter
the day
White?
So it's an interesting thing to, and by the way, that's in the files.
Yes,
So we'll talk about that as well. Vinny's got a few other things he wants to talk about with the files. By the way, we're about to announce something that's going to go very quickly. So just I'm preparing you guys because the last time you guys got upset, I'm letting you know it's going to happen again. So just brace for impact. A few other things. Trump is pushing for voter ID. Ehud Barack came and apologized about his close friendship with Epstein. Harry Enton back at it again, saying Americans believe Trump is handling the stock market better than past presidents. Trump tears into Bill Maher, not happy what Bill Maher said. RFK's talking about how he used to snort cocaine off the toilet seat. Gen Z is skipping sex to do this instead. Weird story. Rich Californians flock to Las Vegas housing market as lawmakers consider the wealth tax. San Francisco residents band together to shut down the reparations fund, claiming it's dividing the city. Fetterman eviscerates anti-Israel rot and Democratic Party shuts down AOC's genocide rhetoric. Pam Bondi announces, I talked about that. Parents call for investigation into Picture Day Company. This is very weird. Did you see that one?
Canceled it.
The school Picture Day Company after investor found an Epstein file.
It's Leon. Is it Leon Black?
It's one of those guys.
One of those guys.
Yeah.
He owns it. So.
Yeah. Ex-Obama officials sought Epstein's help amid reports suggesting she covered up White House prostitution scandal. Some weird stuff there. U.S. concludes Alibaba and BYD have links to Chinese military. Marco Rubio was just on fire. Donald Trump says regime change in Iran. We have a few things to talk about with Iran. We will. Russia murdered Alexei Navalny with deadly frog poison. No tied to Alex Jones, but European countries conclude that was this is a different kind of a frog. Disney apparently got the message, folks. And guess what Disney decided to drop in 2026?
What?
Disney World Gay Days paused for 2026.
What does that even mean?
Pride event organization can't find sponsors. Okay, can you imagine that? Hey, Amazon, will you sponsor? No. Hey, Apple, will you sponsor? No. Hey, Chase, will you sponsor? No. Hey, what about the DEI stuff? No. Hey, what about the ESG stuff? No. Go away. So they have to cancel it.
What about Jaguar? We're over that.
Yeah. Gen Z locked out of home buying, puts in money in the market, performs better in this story. And then we got a couple other things here. Women are rejecting dates based on who a man's celebrity crushes. Absolute red flag. And can you get the same benefits from friendship as romantic relationship? Adam wants to talk about that. And then we got a couple other things. Cain Velasquez released from prison on parole. Cain is people are so happy about what he did there. Having said that, folks, you know how it works out here. Did you hear about yesterday what happened to Logan Paul's card? You know that Pokemon card? No, not NFT.
Pokemon.
The Pokemon card that he bought for $4.5 million. People said he's crazy.
Yeah.
Yesterday, broke the record. First ever $16.5 million card ever sold. The card he bought a couple years ago for $5 million just sold for $16.5 million.
Wow.
A Pokemon card sold for $16.5 million. Ever.
Any
There's
sports card, anything?
Mickey Mantle's
Mickey Mantle?
SGC 96 sold for 13.4 or 12.4. You can verify this, Rob. I think it sold at 12.4 million. Mickey Mantle's SGC 52 tops, 96, something like that if you check it.
Pokemon is more valuable than Honus Wagner and Mickey Mantle?
12.6 million 3 years ago.
Well, guess what?
It's more valuable.
That's a
guys.
good thing though, because his NFT that was $665,000 is now today worth $177. Did you know that?
That's a different story.
That's a different
Zero.
But let me tell you what's going on with collectibles. Here's how collectibles work. If you have limited stuff that the world wants and you keep them long term, they keep valuation. And with that being said, Here's the latest 250-year anniversary limited edition hat. This one won't last a second, folks. We're at the Pentagon. I don't know where we were at, Department of State. Guy pulls up to us and says, "You know what's the only thing I don't like about you guys?" I said, "What's that?" I'm trying to see what he's going to say. Tom was right next to me.
Yep.
Your limited edition hats, when you announce, sells out immediately. And some of us that don't watch the videos until the afternoon, we don't get a chance to get it. I said, dude, I can't do nothing about it.
Yeah.
Here's the latest limited edition. Look at how this beautiful hat, yellow hat, 250th anniversary. Go ahead, Rob.
February is about discipline. The habits built daily. The consistency that shapes who we become. Resilience, responsibility, and the courage to move forward with conviction. Consistency creates confidence. Confidence fuels consistency. Honoring our past gives purpose to our future. At 250 years strong, one message stands clear. The future looks bright at 250. One nation under God.
Limited edition, 250 hats. Like I told you last time, the last one sold within the first 100 minutes that we had, a little over an hour and 40 minutes that we had. It was gone. This one's going to go in no time because this is as we go further, the hats get more and more limited and until we get. But this is going to be the one. Some of you guys are going to own all of them. And if you guys don't pick this up, you can still buy this on eBay when other people buy them and post it there. So go pick this one up. There's one that's black and silver for some of you guys that don't get access to this one. The black and silver is not limited. It's one that anybody can order.
That's sick.
So you can get that one as well. Place order for both of them because these sold out last time and we have to get a whole new shipment coming out so they don't get there till March. Anyways, having said that, go to vtmerch.com. Place your order there. Let's get right into it. Rob, Munich. Let's start off with Munich. More and more and more people are calling this man the 2028 leading Republican presidential candidate. The only thing, if he can get past the primary of beating J.D. Vance, because J.D. has the Turning Point USA organization, J.D. has some of the younger folks, and he has a bigger out there market. But when he hit the stage, Rob, if you can find a clip of when Marco hit the stage, folks, people lost their, you don't get this kind of reaction at these types of events. They clapped for him in his speech 3 times. One time he's just kind of going through the speech. They stopped him in the middle of his speech just to give him an applause, and he was in the middle of his speech, Marco Rubio. It's a 26, 27-minute speech, and there's like 5 minutes of Q&A they do at the end. But, Rob, if you don't mind just showing the applause at the beginning. Go ahead, Rob.
Thank you. Thank you.
I know it's standing. Oh, mind you, they didn't show the audience. They're
I know they
standing
don't show
up.
it. So now go back to the other clip. He made a couple incredible comments that were the word I could find. It's like a leader challenging everybody, yet encouraging to unify, yet being humble and teaching history of how we once used to be hundreds of years ago. It was just a phenomenal speech. Go ahead, Rob.
The United Nations still has tremendous potential to be a tool for good in the world. But we cannot ignore that today, on the most pressing matters before us, it has no answers and has played virtually no role. It could not solve the war in Gaza. Instead, it was American leadership that freed captives from barbarians and brought about a fragile truce. It has not solved the war in Ukraine. It took American leadership in partnership with many of the countries here today just to bring the two sides to the table in search of a still elusive peace. It was powerless to constrain the nuclear program of radical Shia clerics in Tehran. That required 14 bombs dropped with precision from American B-2 bombers. And it was unable to address the threat to our security from a narco-terrorist dictator in Venezuela. Instead, it took American special forces to bring this fugitive to justice. In a perfect world, all of these problems and more would be solved by diplomats and strongly worded resolutions. But we do not live in a perfect world, and we cannot continue to allow those who blatantly and openly threaten our citizens and endanger our global stability to shield themselves behind abstractions of international law which they themselves routinely violate. This is the path that President Trump and the United States has embarked upon. It is the path we ask you here in Europe to join us on. It is a path we have walked together before and hope to walk together again.
Tom, thoughts on this?
It was a tremendous speech. I felt that it was, I'm going to use a word here, I felt it was presidential, it was leadership, it was global stage. He then summed it up and made several, actually he had many summation points, and he would come to a summation point and he would say, you're our heritage. We came from you.
Yeah.
We came and built the U.S. with you. We cannot succeed without you. Our success is your success. Your success is our success. We have to do it together. And he made clear points, like the UN point there, without basically, attacking Kofi Annan and all the corruption of the past. He simply says the UN couldn't fix these things. American leadership did. And then he sat back at the end, and the one caution I loved, he said, I don't remember the exact words, but it was, we will not sit politely by and watch the decline of the West, meaning you and us. Just cautioning and saying, hey, look, when it comes to it, American leadership is going to step up. I loved his look, and I loved the fact they were paying attention. You notice they weren't rolling their eyes and tipping their heads the way they do sometimes when someone comes to stage. People were attentive. People were forward. They had their translators in their ears, and they gave him applause a couple times and then gave him a standing ovation. I love this speech. I loved his presence. I loved what I saw. This is American leadership. That's what it's all about.
Vinny.
I mean, I love Tom. He didn't apologize for our country. He didn't bow to the crowd. He pushed back. He defended America. He didn't do what Gavin and all these traitors, in my point of view, this is my opinion, did, and we'll get into that later. But, Pat, you know what it is? You know what he is? He's a second-string quarterback that is showing up in practice and is making the coaches go, you know what? I don't know, guys. We might have to have this guy be a starter. He has Trump's policies, okay? He has Trump's love for America without Trump's, volatility because of what the media has done to him. His parents are from Cuba, legal immigration, loves the country. I'm telling you right now, that on that stage with this speech, in my opinion, there's not even a question anymore. And I love that you said that, Pat, that JD is the younger, is the TPUSA. He's on Theo Vaughn.
It's important, though.
That's big time. I agree
important.
with you. I agree with you 100%. But when it comes to, and by the way, I think he's qualified to do the job. But this guy right here, Marco Rubio, from what I'm seeing, you know how they always say Trump's not presidential and Trump isn't this. This guy's presidential. He loves the country. When he goes to other countries, he stands firm and tells them that they're the problem, they have problems, but we have to work together. I think he's a stud. I love him.
Yeah, I want to go to another clip, and then, Adam, I'm going to come to you. Rob, what other clips do you have? Do you have the clip of when he says the following? There's a line where he says, it was this continent that produced the genius of Mozart and Beethoven, of Dante and Shakespeare, of Michelangelo and Da Vinci, and of the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. And they started laughing. These momentous and these monuments and artists testify not only to the greatness of our past, but to the promise of our future. The message was so unifying. The message was so, he said another thing where, Tom, you were kind of trying to quote him. He said, while we are prepared, if necessary, to do this alone, it is our preference, and it is our hope to do this together with you, our friends here in Europe. And we care deeply about your future and ours. And if at times we disagree, our disagreements come from our profound sense of concern, okay? Both our histories and our fates are linked together. There was another message he gave when he says, we got to get off this thing about fear. Rob, can you search on the words, on the transcript, fear of climate change? Type in fear of climate change. Go to that part, Rob, and then go back maybe 5 seconds prior to that. I just love, he says, enough with this fear porn. Look at the way he puts this together. Go for it.
It's not just a set of bad policies, but a malaise of hopelessness and complacency. An alliance is what the alliance that we want is one that is not paralyzed into inaction by fear. Fear of climate change, fear of war, fear of technology. Instead, we want an alliance that boldly races into the future. And the only fear we have is the fear of the shame of not leaving our nations prouder, stronger, and wealthier for our children. An alliance ready to defend our people, to safeguard our interests, and to preserve the freedom of action that allows us to shape our own destiny, not one that exists to operate a global welfare state and atone for the purported sins of past generations. An alliance that does not allow its power to be outsourced, constrained, or subordinated to systems beyond.
I just love the way he put this together. To me, he's officially #1 draft pick for 2028. #1. And I think the reason why JD is asking to be able to solve the California issue is because he knows he's behind the 8 ball right now. And by the way, if he's president, he calls JD to be VP, JD's not taking it because nobody wants to be VP for 2 different presidents. He'll become the first in history to do so. You don't want to make history doing that. And I don't think JD will do it. I think he would take somebody else as VP. There's something very, very attractive about the way he's handling business. Adam.
Well, in my opinion, little Marco has completely grown up. I mean, playing the long game, whether it's in politics or in real life, sometimes it's not your time. It was not little Marco's time in 2016, but it certainly looks like this will be his time in 2028. Look, the world is a dangerous place, man. What's going on in the world with China trying to have worldwide hegemony over the United States, whether it's Iran holding the world hostage with their nuclear deals, North Korea. We know how well-versed he is as what's going on in Latin America, especially Venezuela. His parents are Cuban. He's from Miami. Shout out to Miami. But the world is a better place and a safer place when America leads. So this is what American leadership is. And then he's almost like Trump, but with a little bit more poise. Not as much style, but more substance. And he basically said, guys, we need you. You're our allies. And it's kind of like pick a lane. Do you want to be on America's side or do you want to be on the globalist China side? And he went one by one. Pat, I don't know if you saw that when he goes, Britain, this is what you did for us, okay? Without you, we wouldn't be here. French, the Enlightenment, thank you for that. New Amsterdam, now it's called New York. Went country by country, city by city. You helped shape America. So, I mean, in my opinion, it's a little too early to speculate on 2028. But in my opinion, this is that dude right there.
Listen, in 2022, I speculated that Trump was going to win and the stock market was going to go to 50,000. It is on time to speculate. And I'm telling you, I'm speculating a lot right now. By the way, here's a part. There's obviously 2 years left, 3 years left till that time comes. But what's his resume look like right now? What's JD's resume look like right now?
Oh, dude, it's not even close.
No, but I'm being serious. Yeah. What's the resume look like right now? You know what this administration could do? You know what this administration could do? Mm-hmm. This could be the first administration where, you kind of think about the power of being a VP, where VP is kind of like, because remember in that movie Vice, with the scene where Dick Cheney is going around talking to people and says, who the hell is a vice president? And what the hell does it mean to be a vice president? It's like, hey, you're just a token. You're just a guy that has a position. Dick wanted to get stuff done, right? Yeah. Dick was a doer. Love him or hate him. He wanted to get stuff done, his own agenda. In this case, JD, I believe, was the right pick that Trump made for VP. I think it was the right pick. But I also think this guy, on Saturday night, we're having dinner, and we're walking out, and Vinny says, Gashmai Tiligavai. And I'm like, what's he saying? And it's Sean Hannity. Sean Hannity walks in. We have a nice 15-minute conversation together. And he's talking to the girls and sending them, having a conversation. And I said to him, I just want you to know, for me, I'm not speaking on him. I'm telling him. I said, this is the #1 draft pick right now, something very, very attractive about him. And I will tell you, in business and in politics and in military, you have 2 different types of leaders. You have wartime leaders, you have peacetime leaders. The problem with wartime leaders sometimes is they don't know what to do during peace. They create war. I don't know if that makes sense. A wartime leader always needs chaos. They are the one you hire during chaos to fix the problem. But if you're not too careful, guess what the wartime leader typically does? They tend to always create chaos. This guy, you know what Rubio is showing?
What?
There's a very interesting thing with Rubio.
Well, he said
Rubio is showing that he can be a. When you think about him, do you think about him as a peacetime or a wartime guy?
Peace.
Tom, what do you think about him?
I think he's an interesting hybrid. More of a peacetime guy, but he's a hybrid.
I think he's 70-30 peace. But that 30 is a good enough of 30.
That's good
Meaning
enough.
he's capable.
Same page.
Meaning he's capable. Well, I think Trump is a 70-30 war is what he is. I think Trump is the guy you put in to solve the problem. By the way, since 2015, 2016, nobody could have done this job better than Trump. There was not one candidate in America that could have done what Trump did. Not one candidate in America that could have done what Trump did. Let's go to the next one. Hillary Clinton had a rough weekend at Munich. Like, listen, you could have just gone to Munich and gone to a game, local soccer match. She takes the train because they're worried about the climate. And then, who knows if that's even her getting in and out of the train anyways. Vinny was wondering and saying, I don't even know if that's her or not. But she gets out, and then all of a sudden, nobody has an idea who this man is. Nobody. He became an overnight sensation. This man's going to be invited to shows, to podcasts. This man is going to be the guy people want. It was almost like Dominic Charginski that day when he does the interview. Exactly. And he says, not one. This guy had a moment with Hillary to her face. Like if it was like the movie Hangover, in your face.
Yeah.
You know that one.
In your face. Yeah.
Go ahead. By the way, here is Czech Deputy Prime Minister Peter Mochinka. Go ahead, Rob.
We saw the cancel culture. We saw the woke revolution. I don't agree with the gender revolution, the climate alarmism.
Which gender? Women having their rights?
No, look at her face, Pat.
Let Peter go on. I think there are
By the
two
way,
genders.
pause.
So.
The lady corrects another lady.
Yes.
This would have never happened 4 years ago, especially to Madam Secretary. You don't touch this lady.
Yep.
Go back again. Go back. Rob, can you find another clip? Play this one because at the beginning when he starts, it's solid as well. Go ahead and play this clip. Watch the lady stops Hillary to say, let him finish. Go ahead.
The climate alarmism.
Which gender? Women having their rights?
No, let Peter go on. I think there are two genders. So, but some of us think that there is more than one or more than two. Sorry, more than two gender. I think there is male and female, and the rest probably is a social construct. So this is something that went too far.
But does that justify selling out the people of Ukraine who are on the front lines dying to save their freedom and their two genders? If that's what you're worried about?
Can I please finish my points? I'm sorry that
what?
It makes you nervous. I'm really sorry for that.
It makes me nervous. It makes me
very unhappy. By the way, if this wasn't on camera, that guy would be. He would have killed himself.
He's alive, though. He's alive. We verify
He's alive?
every minute. I have the team verifying he's
Dude,
still
did you
alive.
see that look in her face?
But isn't that the MSM?
That's
What
Hillary
is this, Rob?
That is
this
such
is
the
where
playbook.
Hillary admits that she doesn't like President Trump because of what he's doing to the world.
Go ahead.
Peter, do you agree that the Trump administration's actions on Ukraine have produced a rift in the West?
Well, first, I think you really don't like him.
That is absolutely true. But I really, not only do I not like him, I don't like him because of what he's doing to the United States and the world.
It's a little more than that, Madam Secretary, respectfully. It's a little more than that. Tom, your thoughts on this scene?
Well, what was really interesting is Hillary was cornered, and she had to go to the playbook. She had to go to the playbook. And what is the playbook? Pick something inflammatory. Oh, two genders over here, and there's people on the front lines in Ukraine over there. That's the playbook when you don't want to answer the question. That is the inflammatory, emotional Democrat playbook. And I just think Hillary was just sort of long in the tooth. She's been there, and there is no longer the big thing that you see here. She's on a small stage with people she would not normally be on the stage with. Because who you agree to go on, Pat, you see this, who you agree to go on the stage with is important, right? And Hillary agreed to go on stage with the vice president or vice administrator of Czech Republic. She agreed to go on there with this news media. And that really shows that, her gravitas, the shelf life of her gravitas is kind of come and gone. And she's an opinion. She's a learned person. She was Secretary of State. She was all these things. And she's had a big career and she has a voice. But her gravitas, it's like Obama. Remember when Obama at the election, you called it, Pat? You said this is the worst day of his political life. It all changes now because he threw his weight at it and he took the L. Well, I think that's where Hillary is. There's not much left to say about this other than it suddenly is newsworthy that. And then there's another part that I think we'll talk about later where she has to backtrack on something significant.
Yeah, on Epstein. Rob, yeah, is this the clip of Epstein or which one is the one you have up?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead, Rob. Watch this.
We've been talking about Western values throughout the conference, and Madam Secretary, I'd like to ask you, I'm the mother of a daughter, and it absolutely horrifies me to see what the Epstein files have brought out. And I wanted to ask you, what does it say about Western values when Western leaders have perpetuated and participated in these horrific abuses of minors and girls?
Thank you very much. We have gone everywhere from New Start to Epstein.
To the last question, it's horrifying, and we're hoping that, there will be continued release every day that passes. That doesn't mean, as our news commentators say every day in the United States, that because someone's name is there, they committed a crime. But I think there's a lot of very troubling and really horrific information coming out. Today, it came out that Steve Bannon was trying to get Jeffrey Epstein to help him overthrow Pope Francis. I guess that was part of the civilizational true conservatism. So it is something that needs to be totally transparent. I've called for many years for everything to be put out there so people can not only see what is in them, but also, if appropriate, hold people accountable. We'll see what happens. On the New START treaty, which we were.
Vinny.
I mean, it's kind of ironic that it's in Munich at a security conference, and they have a woman who was horrible at her job with security in the United States because Chris Stevens died under her watch because she was ignoring him, emailing, begging for help and security because he felt that an attack was coming, and then she lied all about it and said it was because of a video, and American soldiers died, an American ambassador died, and she sat there in Congress like this, like, what difference does it make? So that's my first point. My second point, it's just the Democratic Party needs to move on from these people. You need to move on from the Hillary Clintons. Stop putting Obama up there. Stop putting Nancy Pelosi. I understand. Move on. The only messed up thing is you move on and you have the AOCs, you have the Gretchen Whitmers, and you have the Gavin Newsoms, which I know we're going to get into, Pat, in a second. But just her. And by the way, when they were talking about the transition, she's worrying about the two gender and stuff. She was hosting a panel afterwards, and Pat, I think you have it, Rob, don't you? She's hosting a panel on women's rights, and the first speaker she has on the panel is a biological male, Timothy McBride, who goes by Sarah McBride. You can't make it up. So you think once you
hope they continue with this.
Me too.
I hope that you're right. Keep pushing for 2028.
Yes.
I hope transgender is a top 3 issue for them in 2028.
I think it will be.
I hope it is.
I
hope they go with this exact ideology that they're going with. Keep pushing it.
Please
keep
do it.
driving.
Do it.
I hope you do. Truly, I hope they do it because people are starting to say, dude, relax, man. This is too. Even Democrats are getting sick of this idea of what direction they're going. So I am hoping. And I'm optimistic they continue. And by the way, right now, of the people that they're looking at on the left, top 3, one of them is Newsom, one of them is AOC, and then the other one they're looking at is Pritzker?
Pritzker Shapiro.
So here's AOC when she was asked. Now remember, this is the international stage, not national stage. So you could be a mayor in New York City. People are asking about maybe a city next door to you that's not New York, and you have an opinion on that,
Right.
More local. You're a mayor in New York. They ask about the state. You have a strong opinion. Wow, that was an educated opinion about the state. You're a mayor of New York City. They ask you about the East Coast. Oh, wow, strong opinion on the East Coast, weather conditions, climate, what's going on. Okay, you're a mayor in New York City. You give national opinion, like Pete Buttigieg. Like, okay, great. This guy's a mayor with national. But then you're a mayor. They ask you about foreign, international. Here's what happened when they asked Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, representative, Democrat, in New York, about a world issue. Look at the way she reacted. Go ahead.
No, I think China is, of course, an ascendant global power, growing very quickly, acting in its own self-interest. And oftentimes in Washington, there's this frame between conflict and competition. I think sometimes depending on what's happening, that rhetoric can get a little conflict-driven. And I think that it's really a question of competition, and to the governor's point, fair competition. But when I think about that, I think about how the United States, if you want to assert oneself as a global competitor, the kinds of things that one would do in order to really assert that position.
Is this it, Rob? No, this isn't the one, Rob. No, this isn't the one, Rob.
Rob, I just saw
it's a different one. So it's a one where she's being asked.
Which that one's still bad, Pat. That one's still horrible.
That's not the one. It's
You're
nowhere near to the one. I'm talking about this one.
With Taiwan.
Go ahead, Rob. Watch this.
Here we go.
And to all of you, and Congressman, I'll start with you, would and should the U.S. actually commit U.S. troops to defend Taiwan if China were to move?
Bartender says.
I think that this is such a, I think that this is a.
Today, Julia. Oh, yeah.
This is, of course, a very long-standing
she has no idea.
policy of the United States.
You can pause it.
Taiwan is a policy of the United States.
By the way, I respect opponents, no matter where you are politically and whether we agree or disagree, okay? She is a formidable opponent. You can make fun of her all you want. She's a player. And FYI, kids in sports, you remember when we played? There's a difference playing soccer for your school team versus playing soccer for travel versus playing soccer for Team B versus Team A versus you play a top 5 team national and then get your ass handed to you. Mm-hmm. We'd go to a game. I'll never forget one time our kids, we were part of a team. Vinny, you were with me. Our kids played against the team in Orlando. I've told the story before, against Eddie Johnson. They beat us 8-0. I talked to the father of the guy that was jersey number 10, and I said, who is that guy? And they said, that's Coach Eddie Johnson. And I said, I want to get to know that guy. We changed our Christmas vacation plans, if you guys remember this, just to take Dylan to train with Eddie Johnson to see how disciplined you have to be for footwork. AOC is going to have to develop her international foreign affairs capabilities to get to that level. Mm-hmm. And she'll get there. She's young. She'll get there. Do not count this lady out as a competitor on the opposing side for some of you guys that don't support her. She's not going away. But I want you to watch Newsom. Newsom's a governor. Newsom's #1 draft pick right now for Dems for 2028. Here's what Newsom had to say at Munich while he was out there. By the way, Vinny, what he said was so underwhelming that no one's covering it. Yeah. We're just showing it to you because I think you need to know, because this is going to be a candidate in 2028. Here's what Newsom had to say. Whatever you want to say, he dresses to the T's every time he's on.
Just to set this up, you know what he's talking about right here? He's talking about ICE and stuff like that in our country, in a foreign country.
Go ahead, Rob.
I want to remember all those images of masked men, the secret police, something familiar in Germany.
Jeez.
Those first images came out of my state. The second largest city in the United States of America. We saw 4,000 National Guard federalized. First time, we'd never seen anything like this. And 700 active duty Marines sent not overseas, but to the second largest city in the United States of America, militarizing the streets of my city. Masked men showing up, unaccountable, no IDs.
Fix your tie by 1/4 of an inch. You see that tie?
Yeah, that's in the bottom.
Am I just, like 1/4 of an inch, somebody just had to go like, see, if you had an Armenian relative, if you have a Middle Eastern or an Armenian relative, they will lick their thumb to fix something on your face.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about.
The old Jewish mom.
Yeah, it's like they will lick, and you're like, Mom, what are you doing?
Mom, I'm a grown-up.
But that tie, you just need a Middle Eastern uncle in someone in your family needed to marry a Middle Eastern. They will tell you if you have stuff in your teeth, if your tie is off. Anyways, I'll stop right here because he's going to be okay. Adam, your thoughts on this?
Yes, sir. Well, what we're talking about at the end of the day is who's going to be the next president, right? So we're just seeing these candidates, and what we know is that there's levels to this game, and as the lights get brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter, we'll see who's really qualified, because there's a difference between substance and style, right? And there's a difference between policy and personality. So let's juxtapose AOC and Hillary, what you just did. Hillary has substance. She might not be likable. She might not be credible. You might not trust her. She's not an idiot. You want to, they say, on paper, this team's supposed to win. Well, on paper, and then the famous, this is why they play the game. On paper, who has Hillary Clinton's resume? First lady, first governor of Arkansas, first lady of the United States, U.S. Senate for 8 years, I believe, Secretary of State, within inches away of the presidency, And now she has the probably worst case of TDS in the world, and she said it herself. On the flip side, you have AOC, who's all style, all personality, and then today, Junior, as the lights get brighter, and she's not talking about socialism in New York, she's talking about world peace type stuff, she's just not equipped. Maybe she'll get there in 5, 10, 20 years, who knows? But she's just not there yet.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll say is what Hillary, and I think you'll appreciate this, Pat, what Hillary represented in 2016 was keeping the establishment intact. And Trump was a wrecking ball to the system. And a lot of people, me included, weren't ready for the wrecking ball. Weren't ready. Oh my God, he's going to come in and tear down Obama's legacy. And you know what? Thank God he did that. Because the world needs a wrecking ball. And somebody say, clean up your room, get your act together. Western values, what the hell's wrong with you? We're a Christian nation. You're getting invaded. Get it together. It's kind of like the stepdad who comes in and says, clean up your room when the mom won't do it. But Trump is so necessary. Marco Rubio looks to be the next dude. Hillary Clinton has TDS. AOC is just not qualified. And the final point is, you know what's so funny? The gender thing is still there. Like amongst young men, I saw these young dudes in Miami. They're like, what are you, a freaking Democrat, bro? Democrat has become a slur amongst young men. Because it means like, what do you like, sit down when you pee, you get a mangina kind of a thing? That's what young men are saying to other young men. When 10 years ago, they're like, you're racist if you have a MAGA hat.
Yeah.
The pendulum has completely swung.
It's never good to have a mangina. But Vinny, you were going to say something.
It isn't.
Yeah.
But like, I just want everybody to understand. Gavin Newsom's a front runner. He is traveling the globe, multiple destinations. Davos World Economic Forum, attacking America, crapping on our president. Then he went to Brazil for the UN Climate Summit, again, criticizing our policies, attacking the president. And now he's here in Munich, Germany, saying that our military, our federal government, our Marines are freaking Gestapo, okay? Shame on you. Shame on you, you freaking traitor, okay? California is finished. Taxes, homelessness, Pat, I know we're going to touch on Nick Shirley, the gas tax, homelessness, you name it. $90 million to killing innocent babies, and you're over. Stay in California. Fix California. And I get it. I get it. The presidential campaign is off and running. He's their front runner, okay? But I'm telling you, when I tell people, and I warn people, put your policy, put your left and right aside. This guy has openly told us that he wants a sanctuary city. He wants to give free money to anybody that's illegal, and that's the guy. Look at his resume for California. I don't care if he's in Munich crapping on us. Just know if this is the end of our republic. It's not a democracy. These are the type of people, Pat, and he's a scary, slick. He was hugging Alex Soros. He's a freaking puppet to freaking China. And that right there, guys, it can be the beginning of the end of this country, is that guy. First order of business, I would bet money on anybody that wants to bet he's going to open the border. What's to stop him? What's going to stop him? Okay? That's the enemy right there. Period.
Yeah, when you talk about foreign policy, it's over before halftime. You look at AOC, you look at Gresham Whitmer, you look at Gavin Newsom. They are pros. They're going to go home and study. They're going to get their memorized bits. They're going to come back to the microphone. They're going to sound even better the second time. But foreign policy right now, how do I win in foreign policy? Simple. Make Democrats talk again.
Yeah.
That's very, very simple. However, when it comes to the midterms, it's all about the economy. And when it comes to the election next year, it's going to be all about the economy. And you're going to get one of these people, even though a foreign policy debate would be over before halftime, the economy is what's going to be hanging there that causes the American people to vote. Because even the international folks, don't have respect for them. You don't see respect coming from them. You don't see disdain, but you don't see AOC and Gavin and even Hillary being welcomed with open arms. I mean, I was watching Hillary get upset, and I was waiting for the adrenochrome to kick in. I mean, adrenaline.
Yeah.
Waiting for the adrenaline to kick in.
Yeah.
And
2 out of 10, 3 out. What are you going to? What do you guys got to
That's
start?
good. No, adrenochrome was good. No, I love that. Go ahead.
Crushed. By the way, last week he crushed one so bad that Dan on the way out had to tell Tom how great of a job he did. When he said some of us were children back then, and then Tom said some still are, okay? and that was a moment.
Dan paid attention to that.
But let me do this. Tom, here's a question for you. Would Newsom be somebody you would consider on Obama's camp? On the Democratic side? Yeah. Would you say Newsom is somebody that Obama would support Go. You want to say something? Go ahead.
No, I'm going to let you finish. But
Okay.
I'm getting wrapped up.
Because can you play this clip, Rob, of Obama on a podcast that he's doing, asked about Newsom and homelessness? Adam, I know you got thoughts on this as well. If you want to play this up, here's Obama. Let's give proper credit to this podcaster because I think he does a very good job for the left. What is his name? Something.
Brian Tyler.
I'm not trying to be sarcastic. I think this guy's a player on the left,
Brian
right? He does
Tyler,
actually a
yeah.
good job. Brian Tyler Cohen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Can you pull up his thing so people can see who
Hardcore
he is?
Democrat, but with substance.
Brian Tyler Cohen. Brian Tyler Cohen, that guy right there.
Yeah.
Yes. So he interviewed President Obama. By the way, young guy, 37 years old. You got to watch these guys. They're going to be around for a minute. Go up, Rob, and play the clip with him and, yeah, go ahead. Watch this here. Go for it.
The other side does the mean, angry,
demagoguery,
exclusive, us, them, divisive politics.
You move the mouse,
That's
Rob.
their
It's right in his nostrils, yeah.
That's their home court.
Yeah.
Our court is.
You have the homelessness, Rob, with Newsom. I don't know if this is where he's going to get to because with
Our court
Obama, his pacing is so slow, he can take him 17 minutes to get to it. So
that's not the old Obama, is it?
Specifically, Obama on homelessness, Newsom. Go for it.
Be true, let's say here in Los Angeles around the homeless issue. I think morally, ethically speaking, it is an atrocity that in a country this wealthy we have people just on the streets. And we should have we should insist on policies that recognize their full humanity, people who are houseless, and be able to provide them the help and resources that they need. But we should also recognize that the average person, doesn't want to have to navigate around a tent city in the middle of downtown. And that we're not going to be able to build a working majority and support for the resources that we need to help folks like that, whether it's drug treatment or temporary housing or what have you. We're not going to be able to generate support for it if we simply say, you know what, it's not their fault, and so they should be able to do whatever they want, because that's a losing political strategy.
So what do you think he's saying? What do you think he's saying?
I'll tell you what I believe is going on down there. It's very simple. First of all, this is not the sharp, precise Obama of 15 years ago. He's older. He still carries gravitas within the party. But let me tell you where Obama is connected. Obama and the DNC are still connected at the hip. And people have criticized me and said, oh, you're wrong, but I'm going to double down on it again. They do not see Gavin Newsom as their candidate. Some Dems do, but the core establishment sees a collection of hit pieces that Gavin Newsom will not be able to avoid when the game turns into the Super Bowl on the national stage. Homelessness, the billionaires that left California, exodus. By the way, you know what the #1 city search number one non-Vegas city search when people are looking for houses in Vegas on Zillow or Redfin or wherever, it's from Los Angeles. 25% of the searches on Zillow or Redfin for homes in Las Vegas are from California.
Wow.
So, by the way, that's regular people with that $1 million average home looking for $435,000 average homes when you compare the two areas. So the core DNC, and I've researched this, they see that hit piece. They see the tax hit piece. They see the billionaires leaving, going down to Florida. They see all that. This is not the guy they want. It may be the guy they end up with, but it's not the guy they want. They themselves don't believe he'll do good in Iowa or New Hampshire. And whenever you stumble out of the gate in the primary, you look weak. Ask Jeb Bush. I don't think that Obama is being sly here. I think he's being very front-loaded, and I think the DNC's behind him. I still believe they look at someone like J.B. Pritzker. Rightly or wrongly, I think he's their establishment guy, J.B. Pritzker. And it just happens to be a close political ally and friend of Obama. That's what I think. People can say I'm wrong. I don't doubt Gavin Newsom's capability in front of the camera. I do not doubt his slickness. I do not doubt how he may look likable. But that's what I think the game is below the surface.
Let me ask you a question. how much of a student do you think he is? Meaning, to me, if you gave 3 guys topics to study and say, guys, I want you to let's just say you're a guy that's prepping somebody to be a candidate, okay? And I give you 3 topics to study. We're going to hold a debate, and I'm going to ask you guys these questions, okay? And there's going to be a panel of people asking you questions. You got 1 week to prepare for this topic. Who do you think actually will put the legwork in to study those topics? Newsom, Rubio, or J.D. Vance? Who will be a student, obsessive student between the 3?
Rubio.
100%. I think so, too. I think it'd be Rubio. Rubio.
I think, believe it or not, in student, I put J.D. first.
I put J.D. as well.
I put J.D. first, then I put Rubio, then I put Newsom.
Are you talking about, okay, I'll take debate rep policy. I agree with you, J. I agree with you.
No, I just think I look at J.D. as a student. Like, I think J.D.'s going to be the one. But between the 3, who will present the argument better between the 3?
I think Newsom will look better on TV, but he'll stick it to 2 or 3 points. He won't go deep.
Who is the most qualified person to give the answer on the topic?
Rubio.
I think that's what happens.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. So to me, that's kind of where I go with this. You know, you look at someone, you're like, is this guy going to go do, like if I ask Tom to do something, I won't hear from Tom for 3 or 4 days. And then he'll come back to me and he'll go, okay, here's this, here's this, here's this, here's this, right? I had a guy the other day, won't even give a hint to see who this guy is. I gave him a challenge to just see what he was going to do. And he had 2 weeks. So I wanted him to lead a project for me. And he doesn't work for us. So came back. We had a meeting. I gave him some time. Within the first 15 minutes, I knew he put no time into it. All he did was ChatGPT. Nothing. And I said, yeah, this guy's, you didn't even go deeper to see stories and all this other stuff, right? To me, I think Newsom is a #1 in a wing job because he's so talented. Sometimes guys that are so talented, they wing more than somebody who is not talented. That's kind of where I put him on where that's at. Let's get to the next story here. Next one I'm going to get into. Go ahead.
No, ultimately, I think what we're doing, if I could just filter this down, is who's going to be the next guy? We're seeing the previous guy, Obama, weigh in on things. We're seeing the current guy, Trump, weigh in on things. And we're basically saying, it's kind of like, I know you were a big fan of the NBA, didn't watch it this weekend. Every year, there's like, who's the best player in the league? Who is it? Oh, what's going on? Is it Anthony Edwards? I don't. Is it Wembayama? I don't know. What is it? Luka? And then year after year after year, it's either Giannis or the Joker that's the best player in the league. So right now, all we're doing is saying, all right, we got a little this, we got a little this.
Well, are you
going to
make a point? Forget about what we're doing. Are you going to say something? Go ahead.
That's what I'm doing.
But what's your point, though? What are you going to?
So Obama, #1.
Of course we know what we're doing. I want to know what you're thinking, your opinion on this.
Obama might get canceled because he called the homeless, he called them homeless. We all know that it's unhoused. Let's have a little respect for what Gavin Newsom is doing in California. I think he spent how much? $25 billion?
$24 billion, yeah.
To not solve the homeless crisis. So what you're saying is that Gavin Newsom is so talented that he doesn't even need to do the homework. He doesn't have to have a resume. He's basically Anthony Edwards is kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the complete package.
There is a problem.
And all these guys, ultimately what we're looking for is who's the complete package. And I think what you're saying is the closest to that is Rubio.
Well, yeah, no, what I'm saying is you can I had guys that I would watch who would go winging at this level, winging at the next level, winging at the next level. Then all of a sudden, like there's a guy that we had in the company, super capable. His conference calls today start off in the following way. Hey, I know you guys don't like working with me. I don't care where you want to be transferred to. I'm not letting you go anywhere. So I'm not going to do nothing. And he doesn't work, doesn't put in the numbers, and we still have to send this guy $500,000 every year to pay him. So what's the point there? You know, you could get away with lip service at one level. Oh, wow, he's good. Lip service at the next level. Oh, wow, he's good. Lip service at maybe this level and a little bit of work. Ooh, the right 4 people saw it, but the average person didn't. Then lip service at this next level, 50%. And then the next one, you know you can't do it, so you just go back down. Competition is a very, very, very interesting thing. Very. I watch guys, and I listen to what they're doing and how far they're willing to go to tolerate the pain, and you'll always be able to say, nope, this guy's got this limit. He's not ready for that next level. You have to be able to see. But Newsom, to me, If I was a guy that was in Newsom's ear, if I'm a guy that he hired, I would take a very different strategy with Newsom as a product right now. Very different strategy with Newsom right now.
Why? What would your strategy be?
My strategy would be a complete because he can actually be a president.
Yeah.
He can actually be a president. But I think he's relying on winging, which, by the way, good. I don't want him to be a president. My strategy with him, I would need 12 months with him. I would need 12 months to prepare him for 2028. By the way, not offering, okay, just so everybody knows. But he is so close, and I'm so glad he's not doing it. I'm so glad that he's not doing what I know he could do to win. I am so glad he's.
Then don't even.
And by the way, I'm not even going to share it on today's podcast.
Because somebody might hear it.
I'm not, because last time I did, I'm not even going to share it on today's podcast.
And can I make one quick thing? Because we kind of just brushed over that clip of Obama, Pat. He's the biggest projector. He's saying our side is mean, angry, us, them, politics, and pushing. We're talking about, we already have undisputable evidence that he spearheaded the conspiracy to subvert the will of the American people in 2016 with spying on everybody, with all, Pat, you name it, Russia collusion, fake impeachments, all the fighting, shooting the president in the head, trying to kill him again, and then his side celebrating when Charlie Kirk was shot and murdered in front of everybody. So for him to stay there and lie and say that it's our side that's the angry, aggressive, violent side is projection. He's so full of it, it drives me crazy.
Let me tell you what.
Liar.
You will not believe
you're
what
absolutely
just
correct.
happened.
His side did a lot of that. He didn't do a lot of that, but his side did.
But was he? Well, he's a divisive Tom. He was one of the most divisive presidents.
In your point.
Obama, big time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my point making is no.
Obama was impersonating. Just what? You know what? For the last year of my presidency, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be head of the CIA. I'm going to do a bunch of underhanded stuff.
I wish I had an earpiece to talk in the president, with Biden.
By the way, craziest thing just happened. I just got a Minnect from Gavin Newsom asking me a question about the strategies.
Did he?
No.
Did he?
Okay, but let me tell you what's going on here. Let me recognize somebody here. Guys.
Asking for a friend.
I have a recognition to give, okay? This right here. By the way, these things cost $700 for each to make. They're all custom made. Listen to how heavy it is. Ready? This is very heavy. You can hurt somebody with this. Someone officially crossed 5,000 Minnects, the fastest in a history of Minnect, even faster than me. She crushes it on Minnect. She keeps winning the super heavyweight champion of Minnect on a monthly basis. Shout out to Lindi Lee.
Lindi.
She just crossed 5,000.
That's crazy.
2 weeks ago, and she's already at 5,514 Minnects that she's done. Lindi, this is on its way to you. For some of you guys that have questions, especially the conversations we have with Lindi, ask Lindi about the room she's been in with Hillary, Kamala, all these other guys raising money for the Democratic Party. She's got a lot of insight. Congratulations, Lindi. You officially get the first. Now the next one is the black one, which I just crossed 10,000 Minnects myself. So this also happened. This works. It's funny when I'm looking at how much, the amount of, connections you can build with people, but respect to Lindi. Also, you know who quietly just passed Minnect yesterday at 5,000? Guy named Adam Sosnick just also
there
passed
we
5,000.
go.
But yours will come in. He just crossed 5,000 Minnects. I sent it to you yesterday. Yours is being customly made. Lindi, this will be shipped out to you here very soon. You're amazing. Keep at it. And by the way, guys, just recently, Andrew Wilson is now responding on Minnects. Alex Jones is on Minnect. You got a bunch of different people if you guys want to ask him questions. Kasperi and Emily Austin, Cuomo, a bunch of these guys responding to Minnect. But Lindi is officially at 5,000 plus Minnect. Okay, next story I want to get to. Reza Pahlavi in Munich. Reza Pahlavi in Munich. So he's out there. Lindsey Graham, when it comes down to Iran, there's a lot of stuff going on. The president, I think, just recently said, Donald Trump says regime change is the best thing that could happen in Iran. He just said this a day before Valentine's Day. Here's the president. Go ahead, Rob.
They've already started. Do you want regime change in Iran? Well, it seems like that would be the best thing that could happen. For 47 years, they've been talking and talking and talking. In the meantime, we've lost a lot of lives while they talk, and legs blown off, arms blown off, faces blown off. This has been going on for a long time, so let's see what happens. In the meantime, we have tremendous power has arrived, and additional power, as you know, and other carriers going out.
Okay, so he's saying that, by the way, while that is going on, he has a meeting with Netanyahu. where he told Netanyahu he would support Israeli strikes on Iran's ballistic missile program. Sources says this is CBS. President Trump told Prime Minister Netanyahu during a meeting at Mar-a-Lago that the president would support Israel strikes on Iran's ballistic missile program if the deal between Washington and Tehran could not be reached, according to two sources familiar with the matter who spoke to CBS News on condition of anonymity to discuss national security issues. Now, while this is taking place, Reza Pahlavi is out there at the same Munich event, and wait till you see how many people showed up. During this conference, Lindsey Graham is being asked, not this clip, Rob, go to the Lindsey Graham one if you could. Lindsey Graham is being asked if they would support Reza Pahlavi, and listen to Lindsey Graham's answer, and then I'll give my thoughts. Go ahead, Rob.
And I know Reza Pahlavi is sitting in the audience, but I'm going to ask you, do you put your support behind Reza Pahlavi? Are you ready to say he is the person that the United States is, or you yourself, I don't know whether you speak on behalf of the United States, but as a senior Senate Republican?
No, because that's not my job. I've been with him on every cable TV show known to man. I'm very impressed with the way he can articulate what's at stake. I'm sure he'll have a prominent role in Iran. Don't make it too hard. All we can do is help Iran have a chance to be free. If they screw it up, they screw it up. I'd rather give them a chance than not, because I know what I'm getting with the Ayatollah. The difference is Trump, and he'll love hearing that, sort of. He's done something no other president did. He picked the people over the regime. We had the JCPO. That didn't work. Everything we've done, Europe, America, we haven't.
Okay. So you see that answer being given, which, by the way, is the right answer. And then later on, Reza says, I'm not asking for the endorsement. And he said something very important. He says, whether the president does anything or not, the Iranian people are going to continue doing what they're doing to show their frustration with what is taking place. However, he did urge the president to move rather quickly. Rob, I don't know if you have that clip. There's a page here that shows me Iran's exiled Reza Pahlavi urges U.S. military action with the regime on brink of collapse. Is this the one, Rob?
Yes, sir.
It's 11 minutes and 46 seconds.
It's right off the bat.
Okay, go for it. Go for it.
Today, hundreds of thousands from Munich to Toronto to Los Angeles are standing in solidarity with the people of Iran as part of my call for a global day of action. They are sending a clear message to the leaders of Western democracies to stand with the people of Iran. Here in Munich, 88 years after the Munich Agreement attempted to appease Hitler, we gather at an hour of profound peril to ask, will the world stand with the people of Iran, or again appease a regime which has massacred over 40,000 of its own citizens? Let me state the proposition plainly. The fate of Iran is not merely an Iranian question. It is a decisive test for global security in our time. For nearly half a century...
Did he say it already, Rob, or no?
The Islamic Republic...
You can pause it right there. Okay, so that's where he's at, and what he's saying and then, Rob, which one is this exchange?
This one is where he actually calls for regime change in Iran.
Yeah, he's already done this. The one I want you to find is when the media presses him on a question, and he says, I knew you would ask a question like that. I have it, but there's plenty of clips on this one if you can find. I'll pause right here. Tom, I'll come to you because I know you made some notes here that you had some thoughts. Adam, I know you do as well on the regime change. What are your thoughts on this, Tom?
Well, diplomacy has been tried. We've been working on diplomacy. We've been trying to work behind the scenes. We've been trying to do things. We told the people we have their back. And now we've talked to Netanyahu, and we have not one but two battle groups, not two carriers, two battle groups that we have pulled up next to this. And we have the heat. I think this is about to be a hot conflict. I think it's going to be quick. I think it's going to be surgical. But I think it's going to be a lot more than 12 cruises dropped from 50,000 feet from B-2s. Right now, Reza Pahlavi, he says, we have a plan. I don't know who he means we, but he says we a lot. He did not counter Lindsey Graham. He did not contradict him or get into it. And I look at all of this, and what I see is there is a plan for after they topple the regime, number one. But number two, I think it's going to start with, hey, guys, you had an opportunity to leave the country. You had an opportunity to back off. Now, we don't want them to back off and leave a complete vacuum like when Saddam Hussein went into hiding in Iraq and just all the wrong people and the crazies, you know what I'm talking about, Vinny? Yep. The crazies kind of came in and started running it. We don't want that. We've done that. We've pulled out of Afghanistan and seen the crazies fill the vacuum. You got to have something powerful enough to stand in the gap. But there's a lot of things going on beyond the leader. It's like what we're doing in Venezuela right now is after Maduro, you got to clean out all of his guys. Because there's not just one rat at the top. There's rats in the walls. There's rats everywhere. So you have to sit there and have a plan to have a new regime come in that roots out the other folks. Because it's not just one guy sitting there. So I think regime change is on the table right now. I think there's going to be a military action that takes out certain defense and capabilities at a much more intense show of force than we did with the B-2s and taking out certain parts of the uranium enrichment and nuclear weapons program. And I think as you hear Reza Pahlavi saying, Pat, we have a plan. And I think the we he's talking about is him, the expats, and Trump. Because what we would he be talking about? He's been sitting in Washington for how many weeks now? Photographs on the couch in the Oval Office with Lindsey Graham. It's all going there. That's what I see happening. I think the world has gotten tired of democracy, and here we go. That's my headline.
All right, I'll be clear about Iran. I mean, how do you negotiate with a regime that's willing to commit a genocide on its own people? So say what you want about what the United States did in Iraq or Afghanistan. Say what you want about what Israel did in Gaza. Talk about what's going on with India and Pakistan, Russia, Ukraine. The Islamic regime of Iran will murder, maim, kill, and genocide its own people. Like, oh, you think you a gangster? I'll kill myself. You ever see a hostage situation and they don't have a hostage, they just have a gun to their own head? And the cop's like, yo, bro, put down the gun. He's like, I'll do it, man. I'll kill myself. Iran's willing to kill their own people. How do you have diplomacy with something like that? To me, it's so like absurd to think that they're going to meet Iran in the middle with diplomacy, because they actually have something called strategic deception called taqiyya, which is basically like approved lying for the sake of keeping their regime and their ideological viewpoints intact. They'll do bait and switch. I mean, my opinion, trust nothing and verify everything with this regime. I'll say it again. They'll kill their own people. I mean, what are we doing here? And the hypocrisy on the left, on the encampments and the chants and the marches, not one tweet, not one anything. Hey, what's going on in Iran? Nothing. It's so freaking laughable to me, the hypocrisy that goes on all around the world. So they'll blame Israel, blame Israel. Yeah, they're doing it's called deflection. So the last but not least, Trump is doing the art of the deal, peace through strength, whatever it is. And I'll say this, there's a clear-cut template that's going on in the world called North Korea. North Korea has the world hostage because they have nuclear weapons that they could use at any given point. And they're backed by China, much like Iran is. So we got to do something. We got to do something quickly because we have how much time until Trump leaves office? 3 years. Maybe Rubio's there. Maybe J.D. Vance is there. He's more isolationist. I don't know. I trust Rubio a little bit more than Vance. But let's say Gavin Newsom comes in there and just redoes the nuclear deal like Obama did. Then we're back to square one where we're giving Iran money to fund terrorism. One thing I know about Iran, they're willing to play the long game, and their people will pay the price. And that's Iran.
Beyond the analysis, Adam, and all of that, what do you think happens right now?
What do I think is going to happen in Iran?
Yeah, right now.
Nobody knows. Like, literally nobody knows. Reza Pahlavi is doing all this. Reza Pahlavi grew up where?
Washington.
D.C.
When's the last time he's been to Iran?
He hasn't been.
1978.
Okay, so in my opinion, respectfully, he's disqualified. Bro, if you haven't lived in the country in 45 years, be a talking head. That's great. But what's going to happen if this guy goes back there? They're going to just fall in love with him again?
No, he's not.
The IRGC is just going to just romanticize this guy and
by the
say,
way, here's
our leader.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
He wants the job,
Rob,
right?
Rob, can we do? Rob, do you have the clip of Lindsey Graham holding the flag in Munich with the 50,000 low end, high end 250,000? I went on X to look for it as well. So if you can't find it, don't worry about it. Just go back to the other clip that you have. Here's one of the BBC reporters asked a question, and Reza Pahlavi snapped at him a little bit. Go ahead, Rob.
Television. I just wondered, you said your compatriots have called on you to lead this transition period, but that's obviously not the case. There are a lot of people who don't support you within Iran and outside Iran. My question is, why have you not been able to unify these people? Why is it that you're not the voice of all of the Iranian people? Why is it that Western countries are not supporting you or endorsing you as the voice of the Iranian opposition? Thank you very much.
Well, this is a very typical question I expect from the network that you represent. Look, you say it's not true. You tell me, have you heard any other names called in Iran other than mine?
There have been other people who
But
have
you
not
had your
called
chance.
name.
You asked the question.
Yeah.
I'm answering
sure,
now.
Please do.
The fact is, they called my name. Is my name written on the walls there? It is me that they chose to trust to lead this movement. I'm not saying that I have 100% of people on my side. Of course I have my enemies. And there are obviously elements that do not adhere to those four core principles. You might have separatists. You might have pro-regime reformists. You might have groups like the MEK. Certainly they are not my friends. And I do not represent them. Of course I don't represent them because they are not adhering to the principles that I described. But all those who are prescribed to the fourth principle, we are together. And among them you will find a quite diverse number of people. We have Republicans as we have monarchists. We have people on the left, on the center, on the right. We have athletes, we have artists, we have representatives of ethnic communities, religious minorities. Many of them were, in fact, in this very city in Munich when we had the last.
You can pause it right there.
I think it's like Venezuela compared to what's happening here are two completely different things. We were in, we were out. We kept the number 2 guy, Tom. You mentioned this a couple weeks ago. Kept them in line. They understand, hey, listen, because the machine still has to go. Adam, think about this. Right now, we go and we take out everybody and whatever. The IRGC, what's the military? Even if they go, okay, transfer, Khomeini is gone. Now we take over the military. How can you trust anybody in the military? How can you sit there and be like, oh yeah, they're going to be loyal to this guy? They don't like this guy. They like the other guy. So this is beyond delicate. It's very dangerous, Tupac, because they could just be like, all right, sign on. And then 1 year from now, do a complete coup and kill whoever the hell's in charge. This is very, very touchy situation. So I think the timing, mind you, people are still dying, over 40,000, and our hearts go out for them. But this is such a delicate situation. You can't go in there and be like, this guy's out, this guy's in. Hey, military, listen to that guy. That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
Look at this here. Rob, is this Germany? Yeah, that's Germany. Look at this.
Wow.
50,000 plus showed up. Lindsey Graham went. He put on the hat. MIGA. I try not to say that word like MAGA because it sounds different, but
yeah.
MIGA and Make Iran Great Again. And they're saying this was 50,000. Some are saying 250,000. Some are saying 130,000. Regardless of what it is, they showed up. This is there.
And the lion and the sword is the good flag.
The lion and the sword is from Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi, which was the king. That's where Iran was at peace with the world. They got along with everybody. Lindsey came up here. People are in the rain standing outside. There's something going on. By the way, here's all I'll tell you. I've been very, very critical of him. Like, probably I'm the extremely critical where I got a lot of his side that was not happy with the comments I made. I will continue to do so. But I'm also going to give credit when he's playing offense. I've never seen him play offense like the way he's playing offense right now. I don't know what role he's going to be playing, but I've never seen him play offense like the way he's playing right now. And it's benefiting the Iranian cause. But he's got to close. And the closing part requires him to be everywhere at any given time, and he's doing so. So if he does, and then Iranians choose him or somebody else, that's a different story. He's been away for 48 years. He said on multiple interviews of mine, he does not want to go back there. Okay, yesterday, Ali Karimi, who's a legendary soccer player, came out, and he was seen good-looking guy, very good-looking guy. He was seen, out there supporting. By the way, Ali Kadimi, I think, has got like 20 million followers on Instagram. Like, he's that kind of a player where people knew him in Iran. So we'll see what'll take place. But here's what I will tell you, and I'm going to keep repeating this. We can go to sleep today, and tomorrow morning you wake up, and you'll see the same or similar type of a situation, maybe a different kind of strategy happening to Iran. All of a sudden, you're like, wait, who escaped? Who left? Who do we have? Who is over there? Who's running it now? Who's going back? At any time, we could hear a story like that happening in Iran. At any time, this could happen. And if that does take place, now you're talking about the president doing what he did with Venezuela, now Iran. Next, Marco's probably going to do something with Cuba, and then they get Panama Canal. They get all this stuff. This is a very, very interesting situation that they're in as they're going through this. So I want to get to the next story here, which has got to do with Epstein. So Epstein, Pam Bondi comes out and releases this over the weekend, Vinny, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
She releases this story about what is the files that we're looking at?
3.5 million, Rob?
What is it? No, it's not 300.
Oh, the 300 names.
Right? Pam Bondi lists 300 bigwigs named in Epstein file, including Trump's, Obama's, Clinton's, and Kamala Harris, in a new story that was released. Is this it, Rob?
This is the letter, yes, and then these are the names.
These are the names. Zoom in a little bit, but it's just the names are being listed, right? It's not saying, it's saying these names are in there.
Yes.
Is that what it's saying, Rob?
Yep.
Okay, William Barr, you'll see some of the names. John Bolton, Bono from U2 is there. Tucker Carlson, Dick Cheney, Hillary Clinton. You see John Brennan, Beyonce, Hunter Biden. You see a lot of Leon Black, a lot of these names that are in there. I saw a story the other day from Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan clips showed up on my news feed, and it said something about, they found 330 gallons of sulfuric acid that was shipped to his private island on the same day that the FBI reopened its investigation into him in 2018. I could not believe it that they found 55 gallons. K-Rob, play this clip.
Did you guys see what Joe Rogan just said? Here's one of the craziest ones. The day he was indicted in 2018, the very next day he ordered 330 gallons of sulfuric acid. What? Yes. He ordered 6 55-gallon drums of sulfuric acid to be delivered to the island. Did you guys see what Joe Rogan
pause it right there. So then, Rob, can you go on ChatGPT and check to see, is it true that on December 6th, 2018, day after he got indicted, Epstein ordered 6 55-gallon drums of sulfuric acid? Okay? Can you do that? By the way, it's one of the creepiest things, which goes and gets linked to some of the claims that people are making. Okay, so let's see what short answer that we're going to be partly true. Yes, documents indicate that Epstein entities ordered 6 55-gallon drums, 330 gallons of sulfuric acid on December 6, 2018, which appears to line up with the renewed federal scrutiny, but there's no proof it was for destroying evidence or anything criminal.
Come on.
Okay, so then do me a favor, Rob. Can you give me top 10 reasons why people order 655, why somebody would order 655 gallons of sulfuric acid?
A civilian, though, Pat, not a company, an individual.
A civilian. Why
a civilian.
10 reasons why a civilian would order 655 gallons of sulfuric. Maybe there's something we don't know. Maybe it's a new drink that's even better than absinthe. Maybe it's some hardcore liquor that's coming out. Maybe we're low-level type of people. We don't party as hard as Epstein does, okay? Maybe this guy's doing stuff that we've never heard about before. Here we go.
While he's looking
Water
it up.
treatment, number one. All right. Large reverse osmosis.
Yeah.
Okay. Use sulfuric acid to control pH levels and prevent mineral buildup. All right. Number two. Swimming pool and spa chemical control.
I think that's misleading. I saw that over the weekend. I looked it up. Muriatic acid, when blended with chlorine, balances the chlorine in the swimming pool. It's muriatic acid, not sulfuric acid for swimming pools.
Bingo.
By the way,
ChatGPT
I
just
want
got
you to ask ChatGPT afterwards, Rob, battery maintenance and storage facilities, agriculture soil conditioning, industrial cleaning, descaling, metal processing and fabrication. Go a little bit lower. 7, fertilizer production and storage, septic system waste treatment, generator and fuel, marine. Okay, now do me a favor. What would an evil person, give me 5 reasons what an evil person who's a criminal would order sulfuric acid for. Think as if you work for the FBI investigating a criminal here. Okay, and let's see what it says. Why ChatGPT flip out for a second and be like, the system is down, the system is down, the system is down. In a way, analysts would. High-level behavioral signals. Okay, no problem. Number 1, evidence destruction. Thank you.
Bingo. Destruction of physical infrastructure.
Okay. Number 2, destruction of physical infrastructure. When organized destroy, go a little bit lower, Rob. Sometimes destroy. Number 3, intimidation or violent intent. What triggers scrutiny is threat reports from victims, protective orders, communication, illegal industrial activity or environmental crimes, staging or creating. Now ask the other question. Has any killer in the history killed people using sulfuric acid?
Besides Walter White from Breaking Bad.
Has it ever happened? And if yes, can you give me 3 cases of people who have used sulfuric acid to kill people?
Crazy 8 came through the ceiling.
Who's this?
Crazy 8. In Breaking Bad, they used sulfuric acid to kill Crazy 8, a drug dealer, but they left the sulfuric acid in the bathtub, and it sank through and ate through the building and fell down.
And Crazy 8 came through the ceiling.
Yeah, not good.
What was left of him?
Show, so
that'll be after Lord of the Rings.
It was gross. It was just
so
spine
now here's the next one. Is it working, Rob, or it's slowed down a little bit, right? What's the point here? Who the hell orders 655-gallon sulfuric acid a day after you're indicted? Okay, let's speculate. Allegedly, while ChatGPT is taking its time, look at this, it's freaking out. Okay, it's freaking out on the question that was asked here. It doesn't even know what to say. Yeah. What would you say? Why would somebody do that? Let's see.
Okay.
So there's been crimes. Sulfuric acid, what ends on pretty well documented. John George Haig, the acid bath murderer, okay, English serial killer active between 44 and 1949, killed multiple victims for financial gain, used sulfuric acid to try to destroy bodies and eliminate evidence for the murders, believed that without a body he couldn't be convicted, a theory that ultimately failed. He was convicted and executed in 49, and his case became one of the earliest examples of forensic scientists proven no body, no crime myth. George Alexandre Serret from France, go a little bit lower. French criminal convicted, double murder, dissolved criminals, remains in sulfuric acid after killing them. Hello. Joanne Rand acid killing case, UK 2017. This is recent. High-strength sulfuric acid was used in a violent altercation. Victim later died from complications linked to the attack. Rob, can you do me a favor and see if Joanne Reed is at all in the Epstein files? Some crazy thing we're just checking right now. Watch it be in the Epstein files.
Joe, baby,
Joanne
can you swing
Reed,
by the island and do a favor for me?
Yeah.
If it's in the files, by the way, and they met each other pre-17, yes.
You're 18, Rob.
See if that name is in there. No results. Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know. Vinny, continue, please.
Well, I mean, if we're speculating, and this is all allegedly, if I was on an island, not only recording, but flying in extremely famous people, higher up, heads of state, actors, you name it, and they were having sex with underage girls, there is no way you can let an underage girl go back into society after she's seen the face of client 1, client 2, client 3. There's absolutely no way. Yes, there are some of these survivors that are out that have been showing up to Congress, which, I mean, I hope that they give them witness protection and come through, but there's no way, Pat. Dead men and dead women tell no tales. You have to get rid of them. You have to. Like, there's no way you're going to let her go back into society. Let's just say, allegedly, you were hooking up with Bill Clinton. What are you going to do with that person? You're going to let this 15-year-old go back into society and see Bill Clinton on TV and go, that's the guy right there. So another email, Rob, and I sent this to you in Slack yesterday. On November 19, to answer your question, allegedly, Pat, there was an email titled Confidential. Jeffrey Epstein claims 2 foreign girls were buried in the hills outside of Zorro Ranch on orders of Epstein and Madam G. Let's take a guess who that is. Alleging both died from strangulation. If you read that email right there, Robbie, it says, what is damning about Jeffrey Epstein is yet to be written. Did you know somewhere in the hills outside of Zorro, 2 foreign girls were buried on orders of Jeffrey and Madam G. Both died by strangulation during rough fetish sex. Okay? And everybody out there can speculate and do what you want. What we're seeing, and it's going to take a while to get through these 3 million or 6, whatever, million emails. These people are disgusting, Luciferian, devil-worshipping, sacrifice, pedophilia, and cannibalism. I don't care what anybody says. From what I can gather and muster, this pizza, hot dogs, insinuation with young kids, it's so blatantly obvious at this point. I'm not one of these people that's going to sit back and go, well, you know, they could have eaten $65,000 worth of hot dogs in the basement of the... No. It's undeniable to me at this point, Pat. You can't let them live. They had to... By the way, there was a dentist office, Pat. There's a dentist office there as if you wanted to pull the teeth out of these victims. That's another thing that they do. Pull the teeth out, get rid of the evidence. You shave their head, you throw them in the ocean, and that's it, Pat. This is something disgusting, and I think that's it right there, Rob. I don't know whose face that is on the wall or the walls, which is creepy. Can you imagine going into the dentist's office and that's it?
What is that?
That's the dentist office at Epstein Island.
And do you know what Jeffrey Epstein's last girlfriend went on to do as a profession?
What?
A dentist.
Oh, isn't that weird?
So the last woman he dated before he died was a woman who went to dental school, practiced dentistry, and they have a dental... And there were reports that they were pulling the teeth out of the children. They were calling them blowholes. That was according to one report of a survivor. In the files, they pulled the teeth out so that they couldn't bite back during the sexual assaults.
Think about that. Think about that. You have a dentist's office to pull the teeth out of kids so they don't bite you and fight back, and then 2 for 1. When you, God forbid, kill these freaking poor kids, there's no evidence of their teeth. Because when people die, Pat, it's not the skull's nothing. It's your teeth. The dental records is how they identify you. So, and I know, and it's crazy, the more and more you're hearing, the trap doors, all the parties, all the people, and all these names, that's the only messed up thing is they redacted everybody's name. Why can't we see who these people were? Who are you emailing? Who is Jeffrey Epstein talking to about the killing of these 2 people? And I'm going to wait, Pat, for them to talk because I have the pandemic email to me is even worse. Not worse than this, but I'm just saying.
Tom.
No, I have nothing to add.
Tom. What can you even say,
Nothing
Tommy?
to add, no analysis to add. You go through these emails and it's horrifying. And to me, it's not where we are today. It's where the authorities were and when they gave him the sweet deal. They knew he was bad. They had him. And there were powerful people that helped him not only walk on a sweetheart deal, but go to minimum security with self-managed, self-reconnaissance on the weekends. He allowed him to go home on the weekends.
To do what?
He wasn't even in prison.
Yep.
And my question is, how did he get that deal and who gave him that deal? Because that was where they knew what was going on, but they did it. And the minute he was out on that, the email showed that he was back to things that was present in the emails before that. And so it's like you had an opportunity to get this guy. You had an opportunity there to do it, but somebody dropped the dime on somebody, and he got back out, was doing the same thing again, and that whiff shows me how big it is. That's what shows me how big it is.
And Tom, what are the odds that Pam Bondi is in charge of, she's the highest ranking law enforcement official in the United States during this administration, and this is when it's coming out? What are the odds? What are the odds that they picked that girl who came in after Alex Acosta that didn't go after anybody? They didn't go after anybody, or they didn't arrest anybody. And now all these years later, she's put to be in there. And from my perspective, she is horrible at her job. She can't speak in front of the camera. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She got caught on camera saying that there was 10,000 hours of
at the restaurant at lunch.
The restaurant at
in
lunch.
A public place.
Yeah, and then you were forced to come out on the White House lawn and tell the truth. Okay, and then you backtrack.
Or to say something.
Yeah, it's, oh man, it drives me crazy. It actually drives me crazy.
What story were you going to go to now?
So I was going to go, so in 2015, an email to Jeffrey Epstein revealed subject, preparing for pandemics. Okay, the sender wrote, let's discuss next steps, how to officially involve the WHO and the CDC. I hope we can pull this off. Jeffrey Epstein was looped into conversations about pandemic planning and global health coordination a few weeks before the pandemic. How is this not? Unredact that name. What are we talking about? Let's discuss how to officially involve the WHO. That's why, by the way, we just withdraw from the WHO. Thank God. And the ICRC. Best regards. I hope we can pull this off. This is huge. Subject, preparing for pandemics. And that's why the connection with him and Bill Gates. What the hell are we even talking about right now? How is this not the number one thing? The number one thing besides the children is unredact that name. Who is he talking to about a freaking pandemic weeks before this thing killed how many millions of people? How many?
This is almost 5 years to the day. And look at the attachment. You know, document number this, Geneva meeting on pandemics. Geneva is where the world gets together, right? You go to The Hague, you go to Geneva. These are where, like, typically global conferences are.
Yes.
Interesting.
And then there's one more, Robbie, I sent it to you. What is Jeffrey Epstein quotes a question to Bill Gates, okay? And in it, he says, give me 1 second, guys.
What was the date of that email, Rob?
March 20th, 2015.
Okay, hang on with that real quick. Can you go, let me check this here. What was that, March 20th?
2015.
Okay. So,
jeez.
There is I want you to go search a Bill Gates TED Talk 2015. What's the title of it? Bill Gates TED Talk 2015.
Oh, wow. And look at the date.
What's the date? Look at the
3rd.
date.
April 3rd.
Look at the date.
2 weeks
April
later.
3rd, 2015, 2 weeks after that email. So he does a TED Talks. How many views does it get, Rob? The next outbreak, we're not ready. Okay, and what is the 38 million views, Vinny? This is 2 weeks after that email that he's given. So I went in 2015 and I said, what were any major events that took place in 2015 where they talked about COVID or a pandemic? And this came up. What do you think, Tom, with Vinny when he's showing this? How do you process this information?
Well, I think it's pretty freaking scary that these guys are talking about it. But on the other hand, I try to connect. How do you connect any of these guys to the Wuhan lab and to China doing it intentionally?
Well, Fauci's their boy.
Right.
Tom.
That's my.
Yeah.
That's you know. I see the Fauci crossover, but I don't see the Fauci crossover from the lab. I don't think it was a casual leak.
Tom,
I think it was.
Well,
like
Tom, are you ready for this? When you're having conversations with Jeffrey Epstein to whoever, Robbie, does it say who's he emailing?
It doesn't. It's blacked out.
Guys, are you ready for this? Anytime, you can always call Boom Home. Make sure you have my cell, Jeff. Also, I've been thinking a lot about that question you asked Bill Gates. Are you ready? How do we get rid of poor people as a whole? I have an answer / comment regarding that for you. When can I call you to discuss this? What do you think they're probably talking about? Maybe a global pandemic that killed all the old people and a bunch of poor people? What do you guys think, Tom?
And this is 2011.
Even worse,
15
Tom.
years ago.
They've been planning this for forever, Tom. Every time you hear Bill Gates, every time you hear George Soros, every time you hear these powerful freaking people, they always say overpopulation. There's too many of us. Okay, we're peasants in their eyes, Tom. We're nothing to them. And I think this is, bro.
So now Jeffrey Epstein did COVID?
Well, Adam, why is he talking about pre-pandemic?
No, this isn't about Jeffrey Epstein did COVID. This is about a conversation. How do we get rid of poor people as a whole?
Yo, who has those conversations? And I have an answer. When can I call you to talk about this? This isn't like a joking,
It's a little suspect. It's a little suspect.
It's not an LOL email. This isn't a funny email when you're involved with this type of stuff and you have sulfuric acid coming. You're like, bro, we're dealing with disgusting, evil people, bro. So who knows? Who knows? COVID wasn't accidental. COVID wasn't, oh, whoops, it's here. They were prepping us for it. They had a pre-pandemic, what was it called, Robbie? Do you remember the event?
Event 201, I believe.
Event 201, everything weeks before, and then COVID hit. Weird. I don't know, man. Yeah, that's it right there. Event 201, and then the event happened.
And look who was involved. Bill and
Melinda Gates. You don't say, Rob. You don't say.
Let me get to this last one, and I'll come to you. So ex-Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barack apologized for maintaining Epstein relationship since 2008 conviction. After the 2008 conviction, Rob, do you have the story? He wrote about it, right? It's not a video interview that happened. So The recently released, where's the, it says page 8 or page 7? What page is that on? Ehud Barack, page 7. Okay. Former Prime Minister Ehud Barack apologized for years-long friendship with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein that included regular correspondence and multiple visits to the disgraced financier's Manhattan apartment, as well as visit to his private island. The former Israeli leader had not been implicated in Epstein's sexual abuse of underage girls and faces no accusations of wrongdoing. But in an exclusive interview with Israel's Channel 12 on Thursday, he said he regretted ever having known Epstein and apologized to all who feel deeply uncomfortable. I'm responsible for all my actions and decisions, and there's definitely room to ask if there wasn't room for more in-depth judgment on my part and a more thorough examination of what the details really are, what exactly happened there. Adam, thoughts on the whole thing?
Sure. Of course he's going to say that because his friend is dead, and that's what he's going to do. But I'm going to give you a different argument on this, Pat, so allow me a couple seconds to roll this out. A lot of people want accountability here. People want heads to roll. I just don't see it happening because what I'm doing is removing emotion completely from this situation. And I totally empathize and understand why you would get emotional about this. There's underage girls. What's going on the island? Oh my God. The flip side to it is I'm wondering, I'm asking questions. Is Epstein, are they making him into the boogeyman? Are they making him into the devil? You know, we've interviewed people on this show. Andrew Tate, he's a sex trafficking. He wasn't accused of it. I'm sorry, he was accused of it. He wasn't found guilty of it. So we interviewed a lot of Russell Brand. What happened with him? Johnny Depp. I'm just asking, because Epstein is dead, has the story taken a life of its own? I'm just asking this because I watched a great episode yesterday from a guy who I think does a great job. This guy, Coleman Hughes. You know who that is?
No.
Conversations with Coleman. If you see him, you know who it is. He had a conversation on his show debunking Epstein hysteria and the moral panic. You ever seen this guy?
Oh, yeah, I have seen this guy.
This guy is cold-blooded, facts, logic, reason, no emotion. And that's what you need in these situations. He dismantled Dave Smith. Now he's having a conversation with this guy, Michael Tracy. Michael Tracy is basically, in my opinion, the anti-Whitney Webb. He's saying, look, I'm just following facts, reason, and logic. Everyone is so hysterical about what happened here. So let me just go down the facts here. Do you know what? I'm not saying what he should have been, what he could have been, what Jeffrey Epstein was actually convicted of. Do you guys know? What he was actually...
soliciting prostitution and sleeping with an underage girl.
Correct.
Okay, that's disgusting.
Okay. Correct. But that's
my
it.
emotion.
Sure.
He's a disgusting person.
He pled guilty. He took a plea deal to soliciting prostitution of a minor. Allegedly, she was 17, and as he says in this story, it was the day before her 18th birthday. I'm not advocating for that, but you know who is? The 35 states in America who have a 16 and older minor relations thing. Florida is 18. So the allegations of what he was accused of, sex trafficking, conspiracy, sexual abuse, rape, he was never found guilty of that. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm not saying that he couldn't have done it. I'm just saying that we live in a country with rules and laws, and he was never found guilty of that. That's all I'm saying. So the other thing is Ghislaine Maxwell. So if they're going to kill Jeffrey Epstein because he knew all this stuff, and she's his right-hand woman, how's she still alive? If he has all these secrets, and he knows all the black book and all these things, and he knows everything, why haven't they killed her? So if she knows everything, if she's the assistant to the devil incarnate, how's she still talking? How's she still walking? So I'm not on team Jeffrey Epstein at all. Absolute dirtbag. I'm not on team Ghislaine at all. You know, some people are making a name these days, but I'm just asking questions. I'm simply asking questions and it's this. Have we made Jeffrey Epstein the boogeyman and devil when you look in a court of law, he's never been found guilty of these things. So we're all speculating, we're using wild emotions, and it's taken a life of its own, and I get it. It's fun to do. And also, he can't sue for libel or slander when he's dead. But if she knew every secret about Jeffrey Epstein, why are they still allowing her to live? That's my question.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think a dark world only exists in movies, or do you think it exists in real life as well?
Obviously, it exists in real life.
Okay. But actually think about the last 50 years. What is the darkest thing that got exposed? What is the darkest thing that got exposed in the last 50 years in America?
5-0?
50 years. Since, let's just go in 1960. What's the darkest thing?
Possibly that our government or CIA or somebody took out a president.
I actually don't think that's, I think that's bad, malicious, which, you know, leaders have been killed for many years. It's not like, I don't know what it was. It was the Roman Empire.
At two brutes, they all stabbed.
Pico gave me the stat, like 38 emperors were replaced by you can go pull up the stat, 32, 33 by the sword. You know, that happens. If you become a leader, mob, president, well, give me dark, exposed that we know for a fact it happened. All sides agree it happened. Last 50 years.
Well, certainly child sex trafficking, no doubt. Whatever's happened. Child sex trafficking.
But give it to me. Which one?
Well, the Catholic Church, for sure.
Okay, so Catholic Church, young boys.
I'm not just going to skip over that. What they did was genuinely disgusting.
Perfect. You're right. So that's 50 years.
And they covered it up.
Perfect point. That's one of them. What else?
Like way worse than Epstein.
The gymnast or...
the gymnast, Nasser.
Yeah, underage girls.
Underage girls. Okay, that's two. What else?
Yeah.
50 years, guys. What else?
What has been the worst things that have been uncovered?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, whatever you want to call it.
I would say the Catholic Church is probably top 3 because it's underage boys. What happened? Top 3, and they kept it.
Yeah.
Sandusky. Okay.
No, that's not top.
That's
3.
not. But what else?
No.
Actually, by the way, you know what point I'm trying to make? It's not that many. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Watergate? What's Watergate? I mean, what Obama did is worse than Watergate.
Well,
investigating Trump and you know what they were doing to Trump, that's worse than Watergate.
If you focus on America,
that's amateur to us right now.
If you focus on America, thank God we don't have that many.
But why though?
Because the rest of the world is way more barbaric and chaotic than America. So if we want to, we don't even know. We have no clue what happened in Rwanda.
Yeah.
We have no clue what happened with actual genocides. What's going on in Sudan right now? So we get so hysterical.
I'm asking this question because to me, you know, I go by stats, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We made the video about what religion creates more wealth and produces results and produce safer societies. Number 1 is Christianity. It's not even close. Number 1 is Christianity. Christianity is so amazing that even Jews, Muslims, every other religion wants to come and live here. Hindu, you name it, they want to live under Christianity, let in the right values and principles because they feel the safest, right? So if you go look at that, you have to realize any city you run, you can't expect there won't be crime. Any city you run, you can't expect there won't be things that'll happen. You run a military unit, stuff's going to happen. You run a company, stuff's going to happen. I remember when my office was small, I had 10, 20 agents, nothing would happen. I got to 100 agents, I started getting calls for DUI. Once every quarter, somebody got a DUI. What's up? Come pick them up. Then when we got to 1,000, weird things happened. Then we got to 10,000. Some of the stores compliance would bring me. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, listen, guys, terminate him, make an example of him. We're not going to do this. Let's spread the word so everybody knows this is not the behavior we're going to accept. But it still happened, right? So to me, the argument you're making to say, here's what he was accused of, here's what he got arrested for, it's not like it's that big of it. It's bad, but it's not like it's that big of a deal. Dude, you can't convince me Leon Black paid him $170 million of consulting fee because Epstein is the most brilliant accountant in the world that's going to help him out with taxes. Mm-hmm. You can't tell me, you know, a painting of the number 1 leader of the free world, Bill Clinton, is in his house right next to the bathroom where I verified with Michael Wolff, who recorded 100 hours at his place, and I asked who else came to the apartment while you would be there sitting there talking to Epstein. Bill Gates showed up. I said, is that painting of Bill Clinton in the house actually, or is that just an AI BS? He says, no, that's actually in the house. Michael Wolff is pro-Bill Clinton. Who the hell would, if you ever put a painting of me in your house, okay, in a dress, do you know what I would do to you? I would say, hey, do what you want. Don't ever come around me. Don't ever come build a relationship. Don't ever do any of that kind of stuff. We don't have a relationship together anymore. It's a done deal. Who would do that? Is it a reminder that every time you come in, I own you? I don't know. But to ask those questions and get deeper, and you see some of these emails, there are a lot of weird things that's going on that even the average guy that is not into this stuff saying, this is weird. This is weird. And it's getting weirder and weirder. What is the only topic that's making everybody uncomfortable? By the way, last time we had some friends and family over, and one of the girls last night asked me a question, says, I've dug up the stuff, and I think Trump is implicated because in the Epstein files, because I think this and that. And this is a very, very smart girl that brought this up to me. And I said, you know what? I look at all the options and I weigh them out. Rob, do you have that clip from Trump against Hillary Clinton debate in 2015? Let's say if you had something. Okay, I want you to think about this for a second. Vinny, Adam, Tom, and the rest of the world, you love Trump, you don't love Trump, wherever you are, it is what it is. Imagine you're going up against somebody in a debate whose husband was a president before, who a lot of people in the White House liked him. He was a two-term president who's known for being a womanizer, got caught with a girl in his office named Monica Lewinsky that he had to come and light first. I have never. And then I apologize. I take responsibility and all the other stuff that happened afterwards.
And it was wrong.
His wife is trying to be a president. His wife and the other people that ran afterwards that became president are friends, and they all hate this guy named Donald Trump. You ran the FBI. You know the Epstein files. You know what's in it. It's been running for 4 years. And the guy that you're debating decides to do this in a debate. Play this clip. People have forgotten this clip. Go ahead, Rob.
Jeff from Ohio asks on Facebook, Trump says the campaign has changed him. When did that happen? So, Mr. Trump, let me add to that. When you walked off that bus at age 59, were you a different man, or did that behavior continue until just recently? And you have 2 minutes for this.
As I told you, that was locker room talk. I'm not proud of it.
This is the part about grabbing by the...
I am a person who has great respect for people, for my family, for the people of this country, and certainly I'm not proud of it. But that was something that happened. If you look at Bill Clinton, far worse, minor words, and his was action. His was what he's done to women. There's never been anybody in the history of politics in this nation that's been so abusive to women. So you can say any way you want to say it, but Bill Clinton was abusive to women. Hillary Clinton attacked those same women.
Wait for it, folks.
And attacked them viciously. 4 of them here tonight. One of the women, who is a wonderful woman,
shocked on
at
this
12
day.
years old, was raped at 12. Her client, she represented, got him off, and she's seen laughing on 2 separate occasions, laughing at the girl who was raped. Kathy Shelton, that young woman, is here with us tonight. So don't tell me about words. I apologize for those words. But it is things that people say. But what President Clinton did, he was impeached. He lost his license to practice law. He had to pay an $850,000 fine to one of the women.
He's in the audience.
Paula Jones, who's also here tonight. And I will tell you that...
Did America forget this day?
Hillary brings up a point like that, and she talks about words that I said 11 years ago.
Wow.
I think it's disgraceful, and I think she should be ashamed of herself, if you want to know the truth.
Okay, pause it right here. Let me ask you guys a question. This scene happened. The world erupts. Okay? Who's Hillary calling right after this meeting? What's the first phone call? I have my first phone call. Who do you think she's calling? Call me. Hey, what dirt do you have on this guy? What do we have? How come they never brought anything out? How come they had to revert to a Russia collusion that ended up being fake that they spent some $35 million on? How come they did not? If you were in the Epstein files and you had done something, would you be this bold?
Nope.
Would you bring those girls? Do you know who's ever done this in the history of mankind? To bring the girls rapists, the 12-year-old that said Hillary laughed in their face twice. Who would do that? After he was accused of the, grab him by what was the guy's name? Billy Bush, or I don't know what the
Billy
guy's
Bush.
name. Who would do this? And still nothing? By the way, check this out. Oh, well, that's why he won. But Biden got in. And do you think when Biden got in, they don't have 4 years to destroy this guy's life with this? Instead, what did they do? E. Jean Carroll? They try to take all his cash to deplete his funds, to say Mar-a-Lago's worth $18 million, where right now Ken Griffin is building a house in Palm Beach. You know what it's estimated his house to be? Ken Griffin's building a house right now in Palm Beach down the street from Mar-a-Lago that's 50,000 square feet. It's a $1 billion house. What? Ken Griffin. Type in Ken Griffin, 50,000 square feet, Palm Beach. This is the first $1 billion home in America. And they said, Mar-a-Lago's worth $18 million. So look, I get right there. Look at this. Inside Ken Griffin's
$1 billion house.
Building a $1 billion mega state in Palm Beach. Yeah, Mar-a-Lago's only worth $18 million. You have to realize, like, these are the things that people are quick to forget. So for me, as they're going through this, you know, and you wonder, Andy Frisella, who's very good at what he does, successful entrepreneur, said something. He says, I believe he's doing this because, I'm paraphrasing what he said, you know, almost causing Democrats to come out and to like, hey, he's baiting them, right? Almost like to come out and say, hey, we want to see the files and we want to do this. And I've heard that conversation in the last 6 months. A lot of people have talked about that. But he explains what he thinks he's intentionally infuriating the masses. And he's a guy that's a successful entrepreneur himself. Could he be doing that? Is he begging them to release it? Is he? I don't know. Is this going to get Pam Bondi fired to the point where they're going to step aside? I don't know. Tom, where are you at with this?
Well, I go back to the very simple truth. If the Dems had it, they would have used it. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yep.
You know, they knew what was going on. There were two things that they knew very, very clearly. Ann Coulter talked about traveling with the press pool. You remember what she said? She said 2 weeks before the election, there were Democrat operatives that she knew that were nervous because in 2016, the size of the Trump crowds and the lack of size of the Hillary crowds. Remember we would see it? Mm-hmm. And Ann talked about it. It says they were getting nervous. They were like, wow, what's going on here? Is there something that's closing the gap? And at those moments, they would have, if they had it, Pat, they would have used it. They had to create Russia. The other thing I go back to on Epstein, and Adam, you brought up something about what he pleaded to. You have to go in and look deeper at that plea agreement, Adam. There were 4 women that were also under arrest that worked with Epstein. There was a massage, a scheduler, a secretary, a madam, and not Madam G. Yeah. And they were all given, ready for this, Pat? Immunity and immunity for any potential co-conspirators. And by the way, why would you give the co-conspirator, why would you name co-conspirators of a scheduler, of a masseuse, of a secretary? Why? The answer was, that's why Jeffrey Epstein got the sweet plea deal. Because the names that were on those girls' lips, those women that worked there, was long and distinguished. Yep. And that's how he got the sweetheart deal. Because someone dropped the dime on Acosta and told him, wait a minute, you know,
he works for intelligence.
Yeah,
he works for intelligence.
He belongs to, remember the phrase we saw? Epstein, belongs to intelligence.
Which one?
And exactly. And so they said, you have to plea as a sex offender. You got to do 13 months at Palm Beach County Jail, down the street from his house. He didn't even go to a prison. That plea deal had just disgusting privilege written all over it. And so how do I read it, Pat? I read Hillary and the Dems, if they had it, they would have used it. And that plea deal was just a ticking, it wasn't a plea deal, it was a ticking time bomb.
So I'll agree with Tom on one point and then maybe push back on another. I fully agree that if the Democrats had something on Trump, they would use it now. By the way, every single name, and correct me if I'm wrong, from Bill Clinton to Ehud Barack to every other person, are they on the left, center, or right? They're on the left.
Yep.
What's that?
Yeah, left.
Ehud Barack was Prime Minister of Israel during the Clinton years. They were homies. You know who's not in the Epstein files? Netanyahu. Because Epstein, I know he said, oh, it's not left, it's not right, it's all about the green. He's hanging out with the who's who. But if you look at Hollywood, who's the who and who's the president at the time, they're mostly on the left. So I fully agree with Tom that if they had something on Trump, they would use it by now. No doubt. The second thing I would say, and this, I get this, is people are going to be like, have you no heart? Have you no shame? That's not what this is. There's something in America called the law and justice system, and it's not what you feel, it's not what you know. Everybody knows it's what you can prove in court.
You're right. Yeah.
And if you can't prove it in court, it is what it is. Well, and this is ultimately why I don't think
always
everybody, all these names that we're worked up about, I just don't see anything happening.
That's the part.
Because they're not going to get to court. And that sucks. I get it.
I got to interrupt.
But this is the justice
something.
system.
Can I offer
I'm actually
something
not
real quick,
disagreeing.
Pat?
I'll come to you, Tom. That's the part that the average person gets upset about, where O.J. Simpson got freed. Why? Because he has money and he's O.J. Simpson, right? So,
and we all know that he's most likely.
Now we know he did it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
O.J.
You know, Sacha Baron Cohen proved it that he did it, and he was the best lawyer out of all of them. But you know, I don't know. You're
What
right.
justice
with the law.
system would
You're
you,
right.
would you trade for America?
Zero.
Romania?
Nothing.
China?
None
Iran?
of it. None of it.
So there's going to be leaks and.
But I will tell you, the trust for the justice system goes down when people don't get arrested, and people don't get caught, and people don't get and they constantly get away with it.
Yeah.
There needs to be something. We said they were showing pictures of us of Ghislaine Maxwell. It looks nothing like her, right?
Absolutely nothing.
Her nose is different. All this
Really?
other
What
stuff
does
is
it look
different.
like?
You haven't seen a picture, Rob? I think you just
gain weight.
Yeah, it looks like she actually looks like a man in the pictures. It doesn't even look like Ghislaine.
So what does that mean?
Look at this.
I don't know. I mean, that's the person on the right is the one that pled the fifth. You hear these types of stories,
Yeah,
Rob.
I get
you
it,
can
but
go
it's
back
also
to
like, look at Rosie O'Donnell 20 years ago. Look at her now.
But your
Slob.
nose and your ears don't.
And FYI.
She looks horrible. I get it.
So
She's in
go,
jail.
Tom, go ahead. Make your thought, then I'm going to go to the next story.
It's just one point, not on this. It's on plea deals. Plea deals were conceived when you did have more than enough evidence to convict. And then they said, okay, to give you the certainty, say, look, Pat, we got you here on the tax evasion. We got you on 5 counts. It's going to be 10 years for 5 counts. Wait a minute. I will take a plea deal right now, and we will save. It's called saving the people's time and saving the people's money. And so Pat pays a fine. I'm a, or anybody, I'm hypothetically here, and then you take the plea deal. Plea deals are put in place, Adam, when you have more than enough to convict. It's the equivalent. It's the criminal equivalent of the settlement in court. When the asbestos case is about to go to court, the evidence is so overwhelming and the entire industry says, stop, we want to make a deal right now. In other words, they pushed it up to the end, and when they're about to go over the waterfall, they say, what do we need to do? $8 billion to the victims of asbestos. Done. And they did it.
Yeah.
Plea deals happen when you have more than enough evidence.
Yeah.
I get it.
So we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen here. Obviously, it doesn't look like the story's going away, so we'll continue talking about it as it does come up. As a story does come up. By the way, for those of you guys that are messaging me saying what happened, never in the history of VT merch have we ever sold something this quickly. It's sold out in less than 80 minutes. It's been gone. So the hats are gone. For those of you guys that are asking, go order the silver and the black ones because the next shipment won't be till June. This one right now, if you get it, you'll get it in March. So go get the black and silver because we only got a limited amount of this as well, although they're not numbered. And FYI, we have more limited stuff that's coming every month leading into 4th of July, and I may make a surprise announcement for 4th of July here soon, God willing, once we get our permits that we're working with today. So go to vtmerch.com, place your order for the black and silver one, and get one for yourself. A bunch of people are ordering 5, 10, 15 at a time for gifts to others as well. Okay, all right, so let's get to the next story. Next story I want to get to is, in regards to, we have so many of them. I'm trying to see which one to go with. Let's go to this one. Rich Californians flock to Las Vegas housing market as lawmakers considered wealth tax. Tom, you briefly mentioned this a little bit earlier. Now they're looking at Nevada. New data shows that by end of 2025, more than 23% of realtors, Realtor.com listings views for Las Vegas home came from LA, making it the leading source of out-of-market in interest. San Jose accounted for more than 8% of the views, while Riverside, California, made up 4% of the views. Migration from California to Las Vegas may reflect both tax consideration and a meaningful affordability gap between the two markets. The gap is substantial. LA's typical home priced at topped at $1 million in January. That's insane. While San Jose's median listing price was at $1.1 million, Vinny. Median listing price at $1.1 million. In contrast, Vegas median listing price stood at $465,000 according to Realtor.com. For some clients, it's purely financial. They can sell a $2 million home to $3 million home in California and purchase a comparable or larger property in Vegas for less while reducing their ongoing tax burden. Tom, thoughts?
So guess what? The headlines show that the billionaires are moving down to Florida, including Indian Creek is about to welcome the Zuckerberg family coming down there, and we already saw that the Google founders, Page actually brought his entire family office, a bunch of I think it was like what 12 or 15 LLCs or something, Pat, that also got registered. In other words, he didn't just buy a vacation home; he put a bunch of LLCs, apparently according to the story, re-registered in Florida. So the billionaires are getting headlines are coming to Florida, but what about everybody else that's suffering under the housing insurance crisis, the car insurance crisis, the cost of living, what's happening to electricity in Florida? What about all the regular people, Vinny? You know what they're doing? They were searching on Zillow for $400,000 houses in Las Vegas. So think about all the things you could do. What if some of these people are remote IT workers? I could live in California. I could live in Las Vegas. They live over here. But the crazy thing, it just shows that the interest is there, that it's not just the billionaires leaving, Pat. You've got average people looking for $400,000 homes, and 25% of the traffic on Zillow and Realtor.com now is coming from California to no income tax Nevada, with a lot of, remember, it's not just Sin City at the core. There's huge areas and neighborhoods all through Las Vegas for people that live and work there and have nothing to do with the Strip.
It's so true. I mean, Vegas used to be when you think about Vegas, you would think about just casinos and all that stuff. First of all, casinos are down. Hotels are taking a hit. The only thing that's doing okay is events is doing okay. But people are living in Vegas as if it's a regular city to live in.
Yeah.
You have no state income taxes. You know, weather is decent. Of course, summertime gets very, very hot. You know, but at the same time, it's down the street. So if you want to go back and visit family in LA, it's a 4-hour drive, 3.5-hour drive.
Flight.
Yeah, 45-minute flight. So it's not a bad option. A lot of my friends bought properties in Vegas and they lived there 185.
Really?
So these are guys that make tens of millions of dollars per year, but they live in Vegas 185 to not have to pay that the state residential tax. You got to get the right accountants with that to help you out, but people that have experience, reputation. But they're doing that to save that money. Adam, thoughts?
Yeah, speaking of save that money, there's a lot of rich people that are going to have to make a come-to-Jesus decision over the next handful of years. So yesterday, I was invited to this amazing lunch and learn meetup, and it was all Silicon Valley guys. And it was put on by, I don't know if you know who Nas Daily is, massive YouTuber, influencer. If you pull him up, you've seen his face. And he was interviewing a guy named Keith Rabois. And Keith was an original PayPal Mafia guy. If you pull up Keith, R-A-B-O-I-S. He's a PayPal Mafia guy, and there was about 20, 30 guys there. They said, how many of you guys moved here from California or New York in the last 6 to 12 months? 18 of the 20 people in the room put their hand up. They all just moved here. How many people have been here for a couple of years? Three hands go up. How many people have been here more than 5 years? I'm the only hand in the room that goes up. Everyone's looking at me like, how long you been here? I'm like, my entire life. So what I'm seeing, my lived experience, is that these people are ready to get the hell out of California. I'm not saying that Silicon Valley isn't going anywhere. He talked about my friends. Mark Zuckerberg just bought a $200 million house. The Google boys are doing this. We all know that Jeff Bezos, this is his world. I don't know nothing about this world. I'm a fly on the wall, grateful to be there, sitting there, but I know Miami better than every single person in the room combined. And they're all saying this. At some point, the incentives have just vanished, and they don't appreciate the builders, the creators, the entrepreneurs, and in fact, they villainize them. And they say, we don't appreciate you so much that we're going to do everything in our power to take away all your money and drive you out of here. And at some point, they go, all right, peace out, bro. And they're all coming to Florida. Who did we just say just bought a $1 billion house or is building a $1 billion house?
Dan Griffin.
What is it? The wealthiest house in the history of America? $1 billion. So these guys are coming, whether you like it or not. And it seems to be that California just doesn't care. So either they want a socialist hellhole or they just don't value the job creators. But I'll say this. Trump said something about the other day, goes, yeah, of course, Biden, he hired, hundreds of thousands of government employees. I got employees working in the private sector There's a big difference between private sector jobs, entrepreneur, versus government jobs. Like you tell the story about going to DMV or going through TSA versus Clear. These are the guys that change the world, that build the companies, and they're getting the hell out of California. They're leaving New York, and they're coming to Florida. That's it.
There you go. And I don't think it's slowing down. You know, if you're looking at buying property in areas, Tennessee's not going to slow down. Florida's not going to slow down. Nevada's not going to slow down. Texas is not going to slow down. North Texas and North Dallas is going to keep growing, whether it's Frisco, Prosper, McKinney, all those areas. Right around this area, you know, with what's happening right now with Pompano, building up a, Waldorf Astoria. You got, what's the other one? Ritz. They used to be number 1, now they're number 26. So they're building Ritz and a few other properties that they got going on. They got a few of them that's being built. So you ought to be optimistic about these areas that you're in. And California, every time you're like, they're going to figure something out, they keep going back to doing dumb things, doubling down on dumb ideas. Okay.
Doubling down on dumb.
Let's go to this next one. Is Disney World Gay Days pause for 2026?
Oh, no.
Pride event organization says they cannot find Pride sponsors. I wonder why. Okay, they can't find Pride sponsors, Vinny. They're devastated by this.
Unbelievable.
That's
Okay,
horrible
if you want to
news.
pull this up. Okay, which, by the way, how much of this you think it's they can't find how much of it do you think is they can't find sponsors, and how much of it you think is just we got to go back to logic and common sense or else, right? Let me read this to you.
A little of everything.
A long-running Pride Month event known as Gay Days at Disney World has been placed on pause for 2026, with event organizers citing a sponsorship loss and other logistic challenges. After careful consideration, we have made the difficult decision to pause the Gay Days Orlando event launch on June 2026. Gay Days events organizers announced on Sunday changes to our host hotel agreement and a loss of key sponsorship support and broader challenges currently implicating LGBTQIA and event nationwide made it impossible to deliver the experience our community deserves. Organizer went on to insist in a ChatGPT-esque banality. This is a pause, not an ending, expressing hope for future return to the park. For more than 30 years, Gay Days has been built by and for our community. They said our focus now is on remaining the future and returning with a stronger, more measurable event. We will share updates and incoming, et cetera, et cetera. So, Tom, Gay Days would have been a 35-year anniversary meetup for Orlando, a multi-day fan-organized event that usually transpires from June. Why do you think this stopped, Tom?
So a couple things are going on here. First of all, this event organizer is the one that puts it on at Disney World, in Orlando, at all of the properties there. So this organizer has been doing it, and it kept a little bit of light between Disney and the actual Gay Day. So it was organized by somebody else. But Disney refused to fund it. Disney said, hey, well, look, if you can't find sponsors, we're not going to do it either. Wait, we've been here 30, 35 years. Pat, Disney said no. They said, well, you got to find the people to fund it. So Disney backed off. This is corporate ESG retreat in real time. Real time. So if the organizers can't find sponsors, that also says that some of the companies are feeling a little bit of backlash on LGBTQIA+, and ESG, corporate sponsors are pulling back on this. And there was consumer backlash that was at Disneyland. And so guess what? I call this Go Woke, Go Broke is not a slogan of the right. It is a market reality that they're seeing right here. And more brands are backing away from Pride Month as a whole while supporting their gay and lesbian employees. And that's what is happening. And Disney now doesn't want to fund it and didn't want to be part of it. And they said, gee, I'm sorry, if you can't get your sponsors, gosh, that's not my fault. We won't do it.
Yeah, I wonder how much of that is that and how much of it is just, we're not interested right now. I don't know what the conversations were behind closed doors. The reality of it is that the part that, for me, it's a little bit disturbing isn't about you having your gay crews or gay clubs or gay anything. The only thing that, to me, makes me uncomfortable is when kids are involved.
Yep.
The only thing.
Yep.
I don't care what you do with any of that stuff. What your preference is, You come to me and you tell me you like this, you like men, you like women, no problem. As an adult, go for it. Don't go around kids and talk to kids about it.
Have you ever tried it?
Yeah, no, Vinny. Then how do you know, Vinny? Right? How do you know?
Well, Pat, were we there at one of the
We were there at one of the events.
And again, you're right. Do whatever.
What do you mean you guys
By the
were
way,
there?
Qualify what that means.
We were there with the.
Yeah.
We weren't there for the gay days. We just so happened.
Dylan is like,
Oh, you
what
just
is
so
this?
happened to go on gay days,
Yeah, with
Vincent?
the family, and we're there, and I'm like, I
Horrible
saw
timing, Pat.
a couple of guys making out, and one guy's shorts were shorts, like they were
Not appropriate for
shorts.
kids.
Yeah, just kids were there.
Not appropriate for
And
kids.
but it's like this though. If we're all equal and we're all, why do you need a day to be there? Just be gay and just go to Disneyland. Why does it have to be this freaking grand old event with all the events that they already have? 40 days of recognition day. This is gay day. This is gay shoe day. It's like just be gay and just go to. Why does it have to be such an event?
It's indoctrination, and I agree with Pat. Indoctrination, I don't want anywhere near my kids or anybody else's kids.
I don't. Let me
Yeah,
just one
they're
last
gonna.
thing. You got thoughts on this?
Yeah, sure. By the way, what's the reason they canceled gay days? It's a few different factors. Number one, first and foremost, Trump. If Trump didn't get elected and Kamala was there, do you think they're canceling Gay Day? Nope. It's going to be the gayest day ever, gayest month ever. You know that. So go woke, go broke. Pat, Tom said it. If you can't find sponsors to fund this operation, then you're not going to have the money for it. But Pat, you've said this a million times. I'll just repeat it. They're going back to who's their customer. Their customer is the family. So when does school get out every year? In June? When is it summer in hot as hell in Florida? So right when school gets out, you're going to have gay days when it's hot, sweaty, disgusting summer. Kids are out of school, so the parents want to take their kids on summer vacation, and you're doing it like during gay days. Doesn't make any sense. If you're going to do the gay day thing again, and Vinny shows up, we all go in there and hang with him, you do it the week after school starts. No kids there. Go frolic, be gay, wear your unicorn outfit, wear your short shorts, wear your booty shorts, all good. Stay away from the kids. Disney, remember who your core customers is family, and then be as gay as you want.
Yeah, I'm with it. Okay, next story, and we'll wrap up on this story, guys. So, two things. You know how the NBA debate is always, well, who's the greatest of all time? LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe, all this stuff that you hear. Okay, so watch what Michael Jordan did on the same day of the NBA All-Star Game, which is the first one I haven't watched since I was 12 years old when I first came to the States. So this is Michael Jordan's team, okay? Rob, do you have him at the finish line celebrating, doing all that stuff? Okay, when they were celebrating?
I have the trophy ceremony. I can find that clip.
No, you can play this clip here. So do you have the clip of the driver winning, or we can't play that clip?
I don't know if we can play that.
Okay, you can play the celebration. So, here's Michael Jordan winning. Obviously, guys, he's not driving winning. His team won. Go ahead, Rob.
Michael Jordan has made his way here.
Wow.
Sir, we talked before the race. 4 horses in it. You are a Daytona 500 champion. How does that sound?
I can't even believe it. Yeah, I mean, it was so gratifying. I mean, we had 4 guys that were really fighting, that was helping each other out. I mean, you never know how these races are going to end, right? It's like you just try to survive. And, you know, I thought Riley did an unbelievable job by pushing at the end. You know, that shows you what teamwork can really, really do. I mean, he doesn't get enough credit. He won't get enough credit, but we feel the love. We understand exactly what he did. And, I mean, we just hung in there all day. I mean, we great strategy by the team, and we gave ourselves a chance at the end. And, look, I'm ecstatic. I mean, I don't even know what to say. It feels like I won a championship, but until I get my ring, I won't even know.
All right, what size ring do you wear? Did you tell
Size 13.
Yeah, he knows.
He knows
the size. Been there, done that. You can pause it, by the way, and then go to so you see the spirit, the energy, and then go to LeBron's interview, Rob, about, you know, says he's unsure, NBA 24th season. Go ahead, Rob.
What you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, I want to live. When I know, you guys know. I don't know. I have no idea. Just want to live. That's all.
Did he say, I just want to live, Rob?
Yeah.
What an inspirational, motivational
I just want to live.
give. By the way, NBA All-Star was this weekend and nobody knew about it. And on the weekend, Michael wins the championship. And I told this to a guy yesterday. Do you know when's the last time I wore a Lakers jersey? Day before LeBron went to the Lakers.
Day before?
Day before LeBron went to the Lakers.
That's it.
Okay? Now, don't get me wrong. At the house, I'll put on a Kobe jersey, whatever. But you know when's the next time you're going to see me wearing wearing a Lakers jersey?
The day he's gone?
The day he's gone on the podcast, I'm not wearing a suit. I'm wearing a Lakers jersey. The stories that come out about, Jeannie Buss talking about what it was like having him as a superstar and all this other stuff. Anyways, look, credit. Lived a long time, did what he did. The other day there was a clip that Austin Rivers caught a rebound, and he was furious saying, what are you doing? Look at the leaders bulletin. I'm about to get a triple-double. Let me get my triple-double. If at this age, after this many years, you care about triple-double, man, we got bigger problems. Adam, your thoughts on this? When Michael Jordan's stealing the show again.
Well, Michael Jordan's the GOAT. They say in the famous Ricky Bobby movie, if you ain't first, you're last. And Michael Jordan is numero uno. He's the GOAT. He's the guy. And now he's taking over NASCAR, apparently. He's doing his pick and roll.
Would you have ever guessed that he would go into
No
NASCAR?
clue. No clue. I mean, obviously he wasn't a baseball guy.
Red-blooded sports.
What's that? Red-blooded in North Carolina? Hello? Talladega Nights?
To go into
Shake
NASCAR?
and bake? Listen, every morning I know this. Michael Jordan wakes up every morning and pisses excellence. He thanks the Lord, dear Lord, baby Jesus, 8 pound, 6 outdoor Lord, drinking his Mountain Dew, doing his NASCAR thing. He doesn't know what to do with his hands. Shout out to Ricky Bobby, but Michael Jordan is the GOAT, and now he may be the GOAT of NASCAR.
See what happens when the fetus doesn't get enough oxygen.
What is that, Rob? What was that?
I don't know.
Jake, did you say something?
I think Tom might have.
Oh, what'd you say, Tom?
No, I looked down at the. No,
Were you really reading out loud on?
No, I think he said something, but what'd you say, Tom?
What'd you say, Tom?
I didn't think it was heard. There was nothing profane.
You have a microphone in front of your face.
Go ahead, Tom.
No, I says it's easy to see where leadership leads. And I was looking down. It's like it's easy to see where leadership leads.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, there you have it, Rob. Rob and Jake are over there having a lot of fun with you, Tom. Look at
what's going on here,
Tom's
guys.
face. I don't know what Tom just did.
Tom is turning red.
Yeah. Well, Rob,
Tom, why are you so red right now?
By the way, what podcast do we have tomorrow? I typically, guys, every time I have one of these health guys that come on, I have to change something about my diet. Saladino came. The last time I had a Celsius was when we had Saladino on. I haven't had Celsius since that day.
I remember.
Brecca came, couple changes, right? Ian Benedict at Breakers. Haven't had Coke Zero since July of 2019.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Ian Benedict.
And Rhonda Patrick came last week. I haven't had any breakfast for 7 straight days. I used to drink a protein drink. I haven't gone since the day she was here on the podcast. Her podcast comes out tomorrow. She's a rock star. She's been on Rogan 9, 10 different times. How do I feel?
Hungry, obviously.
If I right now see a chicken running around, I'm chasing it. I am so hungry
Don't go to
right
downtown
now.
Miami.
I am very close to hangry. I was about to drink this.
And I told you can't.
And you told me I can't because
you're fasting. Water, tea, no
Yeah,
sugar.
notice you're a little angry. Like I was talking for 3 seconds. You yelled, "What's your point?" I was like,
Hungry.
"Okay."
You're telling me what I'm thinking.
Usually, well,
Anyway.
maybe I'm reading your mind.
That's more of a
I'm not-
reflex, actually.
Here we go. Here's Dr. Rhonda Patrick. This interview comes out when, Rob?
Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Go for it. I'm 47 years old. I want to feel 30 by the time I'm done talking to you.
The cells in our body have a biological age, and that biological age can be younger if you're leading a really healthy lifestyle, or they can be older.
Give me 3 things you'll say. These are 3 crazy, wild things we may see.
Yeah, so this is where you can basically take this old skin cell and make the cell young, so essentially reversing the aging. But also we can grow organs, like that's a new thing. So you can basically take someone who has a disease and completely wipe that disease out. It's really kind of cool, all this tuning up you can get.
Will we get to a point that people would choose what their kids are going to look like? Because that's pretty scary if you can get to that point.
And that's the ethical question.
I mean, what does the world look like in 50, 100 years if we're able to do that? We're living in the shortcut era. Serena Williams, she did a GLP-1 commercial. The average woman looks at that and says, if she couldn't do it naturally, why should I try to do it naturally with exercise?
Doing intermittent fasting or counting calories does require effort, whereas taking a pill does not. The pill does it for you. Exercise is the key, and not just any type of exercise. You have to get your heart rate up. You have to move faster. Being sedentary is a disease, and we need to start thinking about it as a disease. At the end of the day, I'm excited about healthier living. I'm excited about,
Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., folks, we're all going to get healthier with Dr. Rhonda Patrick. on PBD Podcast.
By the way, Pat, happy President's Day.
Happy
Shout out to
Day.
America.
Yes.
And
Thank
can,
you for-
can I mention, Pat?
Yeah.
So immediately right after this, Hot Cakes and Hot Takes, my podcast, we went with Glenn Beck for an hour and 20 minutes. And I'm telling you
Wow.
right now, you guys have no idea the emotional roller coaster with Glenn Beck. And it wasn't even about politics. It was about life and one of his collectibles that you won't believe that he has. It's going to go live on Valuetainment Comedy. By the way, can I say one last thing too? We're at 965,000 subs. Get over there and let's get to a
Hook
million.
my boy Vinny up.
965,000. We want to get to a million. I'd appreciate you guys.
Congratulations, Michael Jordan, for an amazing Daytona victory.
What the hell are you talking about,
Just
Adam?
saying, you're the Michael
God
Jordan.
bless everybody.
You're
Take
the
care.
Michael
Bye-bye,
Jordan
bye-bye.
of comedy, is what I'm
I
saying.
don't know where that comes